If I'm being completely honest, an AMG GT is not my dream car. But it is my dream project, and there's a good reason why. Just a few weeks ago, I bought this AMG GT from Copart with damage all over the panels, but it didn't really matter too much because I never intended on keeping them. If anything, I'd say it did me a favour. As you can see, the standard AMG GT shares a lot of resemblance with a lot more expensive cars. For example, the GTR and even the Black Series. But the simple fact is, I could never have gotten it afforded to buy a Black Series because some of them are nearly £500,000. So in my mind, my GT is the perfect candidate to try and turn it into something much more special, but in reality cost a fraction of the money. So we're on a mission to build a Black Series on a budget. Now we've bought the car for cheaper than what it would cost to buy a Black Series, and okay, there is going to be a few differences, but now we're going to go to Mercedes and price up the body kit and see how long it's going to take to get here. So we're going to try and turn my base AMG GT into looking like a £500,000 AMG GT Black Series, but we're going to need some parts to do that, which is why we've come to Mercedes. How much do you reckon this is going to cost?
I can't even come up with a ballpark. No. No? Maybe, what, for the body kit alone? Maybe 15?
15.
Yeah. Maybe.
This is Dave, he's my Mercedes man. He orders all my bits. Right, so we want the Black Series kit for the AMG to go on my AMG. Okay. But you probably need a reg, right?
Please.
So it's SH61. Me! M-E-E.
AMG Black Series.
That's the one. Yeah, so I need a bonnet, pair of wings, complete front bumper, so grills, splitters, canards, supports, foams, all that sort of stuff. Right. Rear bumper, diffuser, spoiler mounts, side skirts, side skirt trims, arch liners, under trays. I think that's about it.
Right, give me a couple of minutes.
Okay.
Just by looking at the bonnet, I think you're out of budget of 15 grand. Including that, 30,840 pence.
30,000.
30. Yeah. Just your rear spoiler alone. No mounts, no hydraulics, nothing. 13,696.
So that's 43 already. Nice.
Wings, including that, 17,666. 40k.
Is that each?
Each. Lower splitter. Oh, sorry, we'll go from bumper. Front bumper's not bad.
Okay.
2,379.
Oh, okay. That's reasonable. That. I might take two.
Lower splitter, 824.40.
That's not too bad.
Okay.
Carbon canards, 551 a piece.
How many is there?
About 4.
Okay. What else we got? Rear bumper. Let's go on to rear.
Rear bumper, cheap, 1,345.20.
Nice. Then the lower carbon section.
The lower carbon, 12,481.
Exhaust tips?
555.60 a piece.
And there's two, yeah?
And there's 2 of them.
Buy a whole exhaust for that.
Side skirts, 3,162.
I can't believe it's 30 grand for a bonnet.
I think it's carbon, isn't it?
I don't think that makes it any better.
Plus you probably need all that as well.
Yeah, probably. Ready, I'm ready.
I'll just swing it around, you can have a little look.
Okay. £155,000, £504.76 pounds. Is all of this stuff in red? Is that all back order as well?
Yeah, everything's all back order.
Brilliant. So you can literally buy 2 GTs
for a price of a Black Series kit.
Just for the price of the kit. Well, I suppose we should order it. What was it? Let's read the total. So it's 155,504.76.
Cheap.
Yeah, that ain't happening. I hate to break it to you. I think we need to look into other options. I can't believe that. That's nuts. £155,000. Shmee, if you ever crash your Black Series, I ain't buying it. No, not a chance. That's literally...
That's 30 grand for a bonnet.
That's a Golf R.
Yeah. Yes, it's a whole car.
It can't be that much, like to... So after being well and truly humbled by Mercedes, my hunt continues in how I'm going to transform my AMG GT into my dream AMG GT Black Series. Now, I know none of these solutions are going to be perfect because I'm trying to do it for cheaper, but for the sake of £155,000, can you blame me? A quick search in Google brings up, well, some interesting things really, some interesting things. There is some body kits here for what seems like a very good price, and they all look ever so slightly different, but there's one thing which they all have in common, which is where they're from, and that is possibly what could be, maybe, in my opinion, a semi-dodgy website, which is AliExpress. What this is essentially, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, is Chinese products made in China and then shipped to the UK, so you have to wait a little while for them, but in theory it should give me what I'm after, which is that cheap body kit to go onto my car to make it look really expensive. That's what they call stunting, ain't it? So we've got a few options on here. There's ones which look like they're complete fiberglass with carbon fiber sections, which could be an option. But there's also ones which look like they're made out of more expensive materials, or at least done slightly differently. So there's this one here from a company called Z-Art, which are also selling on AliExpress for £16,000. So that's half the price of an AMG GT Black Series bonnet for the entire kit. Now this is what we're talking about. There's one here which states it's better high quality car body kit. Better is better, and also cheaper. That seems like the sort of thing which I'm after. But I mean, with these, you don't really know what you're getting. It's all a big gamble because you don't know if they're actually from different manufacturers. You don't know which one's better quality than the last. It's just going with it and hoping for the best, which it looks like that's what I might have to do. But if you're a long-term subscriber to this channel, you'll know that I'm not unfamiliar with these sorts of body kits. We've done my BMW 1 Series into a 1M conversion out of a fiberglass kit, and we've also done a fiberglass kit on my wide-body i30N before. They're hit and miss. You really got to expect that they're not going to be brilliant when they get it, and they're going to need some work to make them right. But like I said, for £140,000 saving, it's worth doing in my eyes. So I'm going to go for it. We're going to order one of these, and for me taking this risk, hopefully you're on board with this, and if you are, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. Wish me good luck because I'm going to need it. So now, I'm going to press buy on that, and now it's just a waiting game for when it shows up. So I'll check back with you when it does. Right, today is the big day. We've had the message that the body kit has now arrived in the UK. It's exciting times. Obviously, I have to pay my import tax, which is about £1,800, which is nice. We love paying tax. Yeah. I'm kind of curious to see how big this box is going to be.
He just said to me, it's got a few things in, and then he said, how big can a box can be? And I said, how long could a piece of string be?
I don't think it's going to be too big. I think it should fit in the back seat of this.
Back seat?
Yeah. So we're on our way to Birmingham Airport now. We've filled out all the forms, we've done all the documents and stuff, so fingers crossed it should be a pain-free process. We're here. Somewhere. Yeah, we've got to find where it is. I've never done this before,
Me neither. I feel
very,
very dodgy right now.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be like a whole screening process to pick this up.
Donata, there we go.
You found it?
Right there.
Oh yeah. There it is. So after waiting weeks and weeks for this body kit to be made and shipped, it was finally here. So I'm nervous as I walk into the place where I'm going to collect it from, but we've got all the paperwork sorted, and now it's time to see how it's packaged and we can load it up. So as the Sugar Puff monster gets all the straps ready on the trailer, ready to tie down the body kit, it comes out on the forklift, and we're glad to see it's been packaged in wooden crates, and fingers crossed everything inside has survived. And now with it loaded on, we can get it strapped down, sign our lives away, and we can get on the road. Oh, it's even got a little viewing hatch.
Has it?
Yeah. Should we take a little sneak peek? Oh.
Good viewing hatch.
So much tension.
I see.
Oh.
Bubble.
Sniffing there, dare you?
No.
But it smells like B&Q. Well, we can't see much, but it's been wrapped pretty well by the looks of it. Oh, I'm buzzing to get this home. Let's close up my little door. Stealth Movements, the finest transportation company. They don't only do cars. What else do you do?
Big boxes.
Big boxes from airports now. But now, after all of this time, we can see how good or bad this body kit actually is. Well, here it is. my cheap AMG GT Black Series kit. I've got no idea what's inside the box. It might not even be a Black Series kit, it might just be catfishing me, but we're about to find out. So, let's open her up.
This is a workout, this is.
It's good, isn't it? That is a Black Series body kit, and as you can see, it's from China.
This looks really good though.
It does, yeah. I'm actually impressed how well this is packaged. If the packaging is representative of the quality of the items, we're in for a good time.
I think we've got a bargain.
I'm not hoping for this, but I've bought body kits before, and I've never been happy with one, so I'm still not hopeful. I'm glad you are, but I'm not.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Let me go get a knife. Right, let's start with the little bits and see what we've got. Oh, it is a Mercedes badge. That's massive. Looks legit though, doesn't it?
I still can't even see what that says.
Well, it says, I think it's supposed to say made in Germany, but they've spelled made M-I-D-E. So this is not, unless that's how you spell made in German.
Oh,
could be.
But not everything in this box is what we expected it to be.
What's that? M3 replica mirror cap. And there's loads of them. Like the mirror caps that you put on to make it look like an M car. Maybe I'm going to start selling M-style mirror caps. That's not for a Mercedes, is it? 2. Slightly, oh no, it's just more bubble wrap. 3. 4. That's not the same thing. 5. Now, if this is the spoiler, one of the reasons I like the Black Series is because it's sort of got like 3 spoilers in one. It's a bit carnage. So this is going to be one of the 3 spoiler blades. 3 spoilers sounds crazy, doesn't it? It's high up as well, it sits like there. She's wham. Now this is typical cheap body kit stuff here. So you see how they've made the grills, it's just like wire mesh, and then they've like resined in these tabs on the back. So they put the mesh on, squash it into shape, and then push the tabs down, that's how it's held in. It's a cheap body kit. No, it's not cheap, it's a body kit. Oh, carbon. I think I need to leave those exposed, don't I? Is it just me, or does it look like carbon from the back? Mad. That looks carnage, doesn't it?
I can't believe it.
I can't, mate. I'm pretty impressed.
Well, even though we got off to a bad start with those mirror caps, everything else which I ordered does seem to be in the box. We've got all the bumpers, side skirts, everything we thought we should get.
That is most of the kit unboxed. We've kind of left some bits packaged because we know what they are, so there's no point taking them out. May as well leave them protected. But there's one final piece because we've got bumpers, wings, side skirts, spoilers, trims, bits, exhaust tips, all that stuff, but we're just missing the bonnet, which I'm guessing is what's in here. That's sick, isn't it?
That looks serious. Serious.
You're not seeing any more though, that's it. Do you know what we're going to do now? Get it on the car, baby. Where do we start? I think let's start with a wing.
So now it's time to get to work, now building up this AMG GT with its new body kit and seeing how it's actually going to fit and if it was worth the money. We've already had the new roof fitted, which we removed in the last video.
Time for the first part of turning this into I'm not going to call it a Black Series, we'll call it a Blue Series because everything's blue. So, the wing I think is the first part to go on because the side skirts go on top of this, and then you can line this up to the doors and you can line the bonnet up to this. So this is kind of like the first piece of this massive puzzle.
That just sounds...
It doesn't look much better than it sounds either. How's that looking, that gap? What do you think? A bit big? On the standard wing, there is a riv nut here, here, and here, which this wing hasn't got. So, I think we just put them in. Makes sense. So, that gets this marked out where it needs to be, and put some riv nuts in it.
So in order to install this bracket which holds the side skirt, we need to be able to bolt it to the wing, and the wing has no mounting holes, so once I've got it in place and marked out exactly where I need to drill the holes, we can do that and install some riv nuts. And now that those are installed, we can put in the bolts for the bottom of the wing. And pop on the side skirt brackets, which bolted in perfectly.
Solid.
Then for the top wing bolts, where the holes were already pre-drilled, but everything didn't go perfectly from here.
So, the main problem which we can see at the moment is the top of the wing here. You can see it like on here, that's pretty solid, that's pretty sound, but when you get to the top it dips down a bit, so we need to try and space this up, like that, and I'm going to try and do that with this bit of, it's actually an old bit of the crash bar from this. So it's a genuine Mercedes part, I've just adapted it. I'm going to try and put this under the mounting point, and fingers crossed that'll then like lift the old thing up a bit, give it a little twist, and it should be alright. Sound good? Great. That looks a bit better, doesn't it?
Now with the passenger side wing all on, we can do exactly the same process on the driver's side, get the riv nuts in and get everything else bolted in, and this side lined up a little bit better.
So this side is almost completely fastened up. There's like a couple of bits we need to do at the front before we can bolt all that on properly, but panel gap I think is pretty nice. There's still a little bit of finessing to do by the body shop when it goes there, but it's good enough for now. Like, why has that got a massive notch out of it? Okay, we're a bit confused on the side skirts because as far as I can figure, these go over the standard ones. So it slots on something like that, which it definitely does look like it goes over it, doesn't it? But what is this about? Why is there a big right angle out of it? This is a bit which bridges. Ah, maybe it goes like that. It comes down to there.
Those are the straight parts that are left in the box.
You reckon?
So they have to be
They've got to be. There's got to be something at the back as well, isn't there? It's the only logical explanation. So let's get this side skirt back on, the original, the OG one, and then figure this stuff out.
At least we know.
So that's going to sit something like that with the side skirt on, which we've got on the other side. We just found these, and then this bit is going to come up the back on the side skirt. Something. I'm going to just say it's like that. I'm not 100% sure how it goes, to be honest. Something like that. Anyway, mad carbon bits going everywhere, but at the moment we haven't got to worry about these bits or the side skirts because they look like an afterthought. So we're just going to get these side skirts painted and repaired as they are, and then put these bits on after. Plan? Plan. Let's move on to the next bit. We got to keep going. No point stopping there, so time for the bumper, which means taking off all of these bolts, all 10 mils, strangely enough. Then we can see what we're dealing with. There's like snails in here and everything. Oh, got a penny. Nope. One bumper for sale. Be careful, lady owner. Never ride or rallied. Looks like it's very attached down here. Am I missing something here? So these clips are pretty crusty. I've just got the plug to get off that side. Sweet! Oh, nice. Let's get this out of here. And then, I think I want to try to tackle the exhaust tips, see if we can get those on. Like, it may not be staying forever, but it'd be cool to have it looking good even when it's not done. Agreed? So, these are the tips, and they're not the best quality. They're not the nicest ones in the world, but for now they will do. They'll make sure that the exhaust gases don't go into the back of the bumper and melt the carbon or something stupid until we get a new one sorted. So, let's go have a look at how these are going to fit on there.
So in order to fit the new exhaust tips, I've got to chop back part of the old ones. So do that using an angle grinder, but I couldn't quite get it all the way around, so a bit of brute force gets it off, even though it didn't leave it in the best shape. But even with that slight mishap at the top, this exhaust just wasn't fitting over, it wasn't working as a sleeve.
There's no way that's going over that. Right, exhaust tips, giving up on them. I think the ones that I've got with the kit are useless, so I'm just going to get a custom thing made up way after when it's all done. So let's come back to that at a later date, not waste any more time on it, and let's try this rear bumper on. This is, oh my god, honestly I've hit everything on the way in here. I suppose just get the packaging off and go for it. There is a rain light which we can wire in, but I'll come back to that I think. Let's just drop her in place and see what happens, I guess. There's not much more to do, is there? Oh my god. Jesus Christ, I nearly died. Literally every bolt's gone everywhere. Right, take two. After I nearly stacked it. How are we doing that side, lad? Oh,
nice.
I mean, you can't grumble, can you, really? That all looks nice. It's just too easy, man. Too easy. That looks carnage though, don't it?
So I'm really happy with the rear bumper, it fits almost perfectly, and if you're wondering about the slight lip which is at the edge of the bumper, there is also an extension which goes on the rear quarter which should line up with that.
Right, we're just looking at the spoiler because we know it's going to look nuts, so we're just going to start building it up, but I suppose we'll see if it makes the car today.
Nuts. Nuts.
This is part 1 of 3 of this spoiler, just to give you an idea of how crazy it is.
What I've got, Chris, this is not a wing.
Oh, you're doing the ironing, lad?
Any clothes, lad?
Yeah, the load, mate. Loads.
That's stupid.
Thank you. Whoa! What do you reckon? Looks good, yeah?
That's looking pretty serious.
It is, isn't it? I've never seen a car with 3 spoilers before, but now we have.
That's how you cook your steak. Isn't it? Rare, medium, well done.
He just spoiled that joke, man.
Oh, I don't even get it.
Oh, you didn't get my one either.
No.
What did you say?
You said you spoiled that joke.
Oh. Spoiled it, yeah. Yeah, bro, I've got a sticky tape.
I was just gonna blue tack it.
What's your?
Yeah.
What about?
Bit of tissue, like. But anyway, spoiler, looking nuts, but I'm not gonna put it on the car yet because I think that'd be too much, wouldn't it? This is gonna be like the final finishing touch.
Sensory overload for everyone, that'll be.
Big time, yeah. Everyone
It's
will
like-
lose it. And now back in here because I do kind of want to see how these are gonna look. So I'm just very quickly gonna, if I can, get it all in place. And now that that is on, I can now line up this next piece, which goes just about there. And I can instantly see that, well, I've not lined it up very well, but we can put it on for now and then sort that out later. I think the side skirt needs to come up a bit more, but it's going to be tricky to get this right when it comes to the final fit up, definitely. Well, it's a little bit ghetto, but you can see exactly how it's going to look when it's all together, at least on the side skirts anyway, and gauge how much aggression and width this body kit adds to this car. Now, if I'm being completely frank, I don't know why they've made it in this way where these bits fit in these notches, because it makes sense, in my head at least, to make it as one solid piece. But maybe there is a good reason why. But I really cannot see the sense in making this in another piece which you've then somehow got to attach in the neatest possible way. Just by, well, I don't really want to stick it on, to be honest. But I'm sure I'll find a great solution for that in time to come. But we can really gauge now how much this kit adds to this car, at least in my opinion. But it's going to do that not just in that area, it's going to be on every single panel. There is going to be something like that to make it look absolutely outrageous. Now on the front end at least, we still have some more repair work which needs doing, which I think I have a solution for, but we'll come back to later in the video before we fit up the front bumper and bonnet. But for now, I want to kick off exactly where we left off in the last video with the spoiler. Now the one that's going on the car is going to be massive, but the first thing that we need to do is get off this standard active little tiny spoiler and replace it with the one.
But to get this one off, it was safe to say there was a fair few bolts to remove.
So now I took all of those bolts out. This should just release. Not too bad.
And myself and Ethan assembled the rear spoiler, which is going to be going on the car shortly at the tail end of the last video, so that's already in one piece.
So now we've got that cute little one out of the way, look at what we're replacing it with. This is going to look nuts. And I'm hoping not be too bad to fit. Oh mate. Woohoo! And now I can pop it in place. That is ridiculous. I like it. I like it a lot. Now I need to get underneath it and hold this in place still. Wow, I love it. I can see a problem here because on the underside there seems to be a visible gap where air, oh well, I can see daylight through it, which means that that is going to go directly into the interior. Which means that that's going to let water in, which is a bit of a problem. So on the underside of the boot, what I've done is just put 3 extra large washers on top of the bolts which came with it, just to help spread the load a bit. But now, well, check this out. It is beautiful. Look at the size of it as well. Now, there is actually another bit which goes on here, just the end plate, but I'm going to figure out how I want to attach that, whether I'm going to bond it or maybe even try and insert a riv nut in there so I can bolt it on and maybe bond it too to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. Well, now that monstrosity is on, it really does transform the silhouette of the car, and yeah, I really like that. It saves it from, I don't know, just having this slopey off back that goes nowhere. Really like that. We are on to the front end, and there's a couple of things here which were going to hold us back, one of which being the crash bar. We managed to get this part from Mercedes, but these parts here are on back order and both bent, which is a big problem because we can't really get much further without getting that on.
But I think I may have a solution which will fix all of my problems. so we can remove the old brackets and the brand new crash bar, which I kind of half fitted. Now, rather than dilly-dallying around and waiting for parts which might not show up for months, I've had to bite the bullet and go and buy this complete second-hand crash bar. They wouldn't sell me the brackets separately, so I just had to buy the whole thing, and it's all bolted up there with everything I need. So hopefully now I can get this in and carry on reassembling the front end, ready for the bumper. So I can now start fitting up the second-hand one which I've picked up, and I guess I'm going to have to try and sell on the brand new one which I bought to recoup some costs. Now, strangely on the new one of the bolts was super rusty, but you'd be glad to know that I changed that out for one of the other ones. So now, before I can push forward any further with the body kit, there's one last thing which I need to do, and that is sorting out these oil cooler lines, which I'm sure is going to be lots of fun. So I've got to drain the oil out of it, change the lines over, because at the ends they're bent, get the new ones on, and then I can attach that to the oil cooler, and then mechanically I think we should be good. So we can very quickly swap those over and push forward with the build. And the reason why we want to do these bits now is because we want to try and make sure that the car is as mechanically sound as possible. So there's not really too much messing around to do once these body panels are on. Right, new oil lines are on, crash bars on. That means that we can carry on. Ethan's here. Say hello, Ethan. Yeah, right. So now, while I've got Tim, because I need a second set of hands in order to do the bonnet, so we can get this off and then try the new one on. Hopefully it fits well, because if not, we could be in for a whole world of problems. We've got some new hinges to go on because pretty much every time your car's involved in a crash and your bonnet gets damaged, these will get damaged too and make your panel gaps all a mess. So we're going to get these on first. So Ethan fits up his side and I fit up my side. I can't describe how excited I am to get this on. I think I'll leave the bubble wrap on while we move it. Probably a good idea. The last thing we want is for this to get damaged now after it's come thousands of miles. That would be a stupid move. This could either line up and make everything look really good,
or make it look absolutely shocking.
Never line up and look terrible, yeah. So nervously we unpackaged the bonnet, hoping there was no damage from transit and also hoping that it's gonna fit as it should, because if it doesn't, there's not much we can do to make this fit much better. How's she looking? See any damage yet?
Nothing, mate.
Nothing so far. It's unpackaged and it looks pretty good from here. Well, it's on. The lines ain't great at the moment. We're overlapping this side slightly and we've got a huge gap this side. So we need to move it all over that way a tad and try and make it all nice and even. Now, some of the adjustment might actually be needed in the wings, not necessarily in the bonnet, but we can try and line this up nice and central for a start.
Give it a pull.
You want to pull it?
Yeah,
let's pull.
Ooh. Oh, okay. Are we in that side?
No.
No, we're touching this side.
Okay, so we're touching this side as well. So yeah, if we can tuck that in a tad there, that'd look nice, wouldn't it, people at home? That's a nice, consistent, tight gap.
You get to this side and it's... Oh Lord, Lord!
Well, after a long time of adjusting, we've got it to A standard. It's not too bad. There's still some tweaking to do. We're missing a bolt down this end of the wing, so we should be able to pull that in a tad. This side's a little bit tight, but I can just do some slight tweaks by extending the holes on the wing to pull that out, to give us that extra room. But on the whole, pretty good.
Happy.
For what we were expecting it could have been, I think we've got off pretty lightly. There it is, the bonnet is on, but we've got some stuff which we need to swap over. As you can see, the underside of the bonnet at the moment is completely bare, and I want to try and get as much
of that stuff off there onto here as possible. There's a couple of reasons why, mainly because some of this I believe helps with cooling and intake temps, because this thing here feeds directly to cool the turbos, so I think it's quite an important thing to have. But on second thoughts, actually, in regards to that, does that here, this vent, replace that? That would actually make sense in my head, so maybe I haven't got to put the sound deadening section on, and maybe that explains why there is actually no mounting holes for it. That's what I'm going to go with for now, I think. I think that makes sense in my brain.
But one thing we do need is the windscreen washer jets, so I've got to drill a hole in the centre of the bonnet where this goes on to then allow me to drill the other holes in the right spots in order to mount it. And now that's on, we can put on all of the bonnet latching system. And also the vents which go in the bonnet too. Now to make sure I drill the holes in the right place, I've used a chalk pen, put it on the mounting holes and then pressed it in place, which gave me a nice circle to drill in the middle of. And if you're wondering, yes, it is very scary drilling holes in a carbon fibre bonnet.
Well, everything is now on the bonnet, which I think I need. So I've got the latch hooks, I've got this latch section as well, and also these grills. But one of the carbon bits did snap off in this corner, and even though it is holding pretty sturdy, I'm going to try and get that repaired when everything goes for paint, so it is 100%. But now we can step forward and move on, because it's time for the bumper. But there is one piece which I've needed to replace, which was damaged in the crash. And that is this piece here. This is like the bumper bracket, which sits just like that. So I need to put that on. So here is the final big piece of the body kit, the front bumper. And let me run you through how we're going to do this. So we want to try and ensure these bits are as strong as possible, because this is where it's likely to get damaged. There's not a lot of strength in some parts of fiberglass, and we want to make sure it doesn't crack. Now, the standard way of doing this is using this bumper reinforcement bracket, which kind of sits in there, and then the bumper sort of bolts through. But I just don't think that's going to work because of the shape of the grille. As you can see, it clashes there, and definitely doesn't fit down here. So what we're going to do is chop off this section here, allowing us to use the metal plate and plastic reinforcement from the old bumper on this one, and mount it in the exact same way they did in factory, using these little clips here on this side and then on the wings like this, just here. But for now, we all want to see how this is going to fit. Right, here's the first problem I've encountered. You can see just here, we're getting some clashing, just on that section there, between the bumper and this lip that comes inside it, and also the rad support bracket. It's the same on both sides, so I'm going to have to trim this down a bit, I think, just to get it nice.
Now, I just wanted to thank you guys for the support on the first video of this build, but if you have made it into this one and you're still not subscribed, what are you playing at? We're chasing that 250k subscriber number, so please do subscribe if you're not already.
Well, was it not inevitable that I was going to run into some fitment issues? This front bumper definitely needs a bit of work to make it sit perfectly. Here's why. So as you can see here, there's definitely too much of a lip on there, so that the bumper almost needs to come out, but it can't because of the way it's mounted back here. So what I'm thinking I might be able to do is trim some off the back of the wing, re-put those clips in, and that should bring the bumper out. Hopefully I'm right there. And not so bad this side. This bit's not too shabby there, but the back end definitely needs a little bit of well, the same sort of thing as the other side. These bits here, it's like the whole thing needs to just be squished over that way a tad, but it just doesn't want to go. So there's definitely some work which is needed. And then on this bit, just here, we can see that I've got one of the bolts in, well, I've got the bolt in, and it's that bit there just isn't nice either. We were getting so well up until this point. And lastly, the bumper overlaps underlaps the bonnet, and then we've got a big gap here, which then goes, it's not looking good. Same here, pulls that out. Which is not what I wanted, because, well, we were doing really well up until this point, I thought. Bit devastated, but I expected it. It is a body kit, they always need work. It wouldn't have been, well, it would have been too easy, wouldn't it, if it didn't need some. So I need to figure this out, and I need to figure it out fast.
Because I've made a booking with the body shop to drop my car off, but if I take it to them in this condition with panel gaps all over the place, they could end up charging me thousands more to put it right. So I need to try and figure out how I'm going to do this and save myself that huge extra cost.
That is not too bad now, if you ask me. There is definitely still some work which needs doing here, but maybe that just needs tightening up a bit. I reckon if I tighten that up, that's not going to be far off there. Now, though, we've got, well, this whole mess to sort. I've been playing with it for a little while, and this is the best I can get it. The bumper is all the way this way, and I've been playing around with the wings and stuff like that, but I just can't get it any better, which kind of sucks because, I mean, this does not pass, especially considering how tight the rest of the gaps are. That is practically rubbing, and then you've got another big gap here, which, I mean, that side's not as bad. I feel like that side maybe you'd just get away with it, maybe just, but with how tight it goes here and then how loose it goes here, that's where it fails, I think, really. Damn it. It is the next day, and I went to bed racking my brains a bit last night because I couldn't figure out why this bumper wouldn't fit nicely, and I don't think it's just a badly made bumper. I think it's something that I've done wrong. So I was trying to figure out what it could be. And I don't know about you guys, but does it look ever so slightly like the lip is just pointing a little bit upwards, which means that it's not seated all the way back. Now, if we can get it seated all the way back, would that not bring this gap out a bit? Maybe, would it potentially push that in a tad, which would line the rest of this up, and do the same sort of thing round here, bringing this back up and slightly further away and stop it chafing here. Now, if you can see in here, we've got this plastic shroud which is clashing with the bumper and the mesh. So I'm thinking if I can trim this section off, that'll allow it to seat further back, and maybe it'll fix all my problems.
Well, it's definitely worth a shot, I think. So the bumper comes off again, I can trim back those areas where it looks like it's clashing and then try it again. And it definitely is a little bit better, but it's still not where I need it to be. This car needs to look like a £500,000 AMG GT Black Series, and with panel gaps all over the place and the bumper not lining up right, it's not going to look like that at all. So I think it's time we pull in some help from an old friend who's helped us out on this channel many a time now, and with a bit of teamwork, see if we can get any more progress.
So that is why we brought Dud back in. You might remember him from the videos where we wrapped the X3, where we did some work on the F-Type, which you now own, but now it's about this body kit, because you can do
Things,
a lot of things and some stuff, definitely. And you reckon that you can help us fit this kit to a much higher standard than what I can do. So what we started doing is trimming a bit more out of here. So we took a chunk out of here already, and did I do that one or did you do that one?
Well, I did this and then you did that. So, somehow it's going to look nice.
Okay, yeah. Okay, nice. And a bit here as well, which makes room for the carbon splitter to slot over it, and that should enable the bumper to come down a tad and hopefully help everything line up a little bit nicer up top. A little bit nicer.
Or a lot, hopefully. Nice gaps, that's what we want.
We want nice gaps. Because the last thing I want is to have spent all this money on this car and this kit, and then for the panel gaps to look a bit sketchy. So we're really going to try and get this to the best of our ability, and I feel like it's going to be a long night.
Yeah.
Well, we've found what is causing quite a big problem, we think. So the wings and the bumper, one of them just seems to be too long almost, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know if the wings are too far forward or whether they've just been made too long. We've got to kind of figure that bit, but we're getting there, right?
So when we took the bumper underneath this bit of the wing, not only does it tighten up this gap here, this one now looks a lot better now. We've got the front of the bumper sitting down a tad. and this looks quite a lot better when we've done the same thing here, but it also brings in the wing gap as well. So by bolting that to that, it's just throwing everything off and turning it into...
Very, very not that good.
Yes, that.
But we managed to find some areas where the wings are clashing and make up a little bit more room by trimming them back, and hopefully that's going to work.
Let's go 4 mil. Yeah,
4 mil?
Or even 4.5. The yellow is a 1/2 mil.
Okay.
Yeah. And you can, you can do it by eye, but again, so we got tighter here, looser there, so we know we can tweak this.
So we want to go a bit more that way.
Yeah.
Just a tad. Should we just make sure the door opens?
Yeah, that's slow. Okay.
Looking good. We're getting better. We're getting
so much better,
yeah,
though, isn't it? It's
is.
like really nice.
And after some more fettling and rejigging the panels, we managed to make up that extra room on the front of the wing, enabling the front bumper to fit so much better, and everything else just seemed to fall in place from here. But one of the last things which needs to be sorted is the line from the back of the bonnet to the back of the wing where it meets the A-pillar, but we can just sand this down because it seems to be mating up perfectly everywhere else now.
Well, we are making some pretty good progress, haven't we, Dud? It's looking good.
Looking way, way better.
Way better. So we've started taking the edges off up here. Now everything seems to be lining up a little bit better with just a minor finesse needed. But there is one bit which needs a little bit more, which is this gap just here. Let's explain why. Because at the top, even though that looks a little big, they've took a little bit excess material off. So that's actually a 4 mil gap, all the way down to around here when it starts really tightening up. So we need to take a bit of extra material off there to make that match up here, and we should be good then, shouldn't we?
Should be all good in the hood, best mechanical fit possible.
Yep, and then that just leaves a little bit more.
A tiny bit of filling and sanding just to finesse it.
Yep, and then
good job.
well, it's been a long night, but we have made some huge progress. We do have a gap around here. There is going to be a need for an under tray to pull the bumper tight, and also a little bit of work here needed because there's some strange sort of raised defect with a bigger gap there. But anyway, let's gloss over that. Wing gaps looking nice and tight. Maybe a little bit too tight in some areas, but that can be body worked out, can't it, Dud?
Yes.
Great. And it's the same story on this side. So we've got a nice consistent gap somehow. I don't know how we managed it, to be honest with you, how it was looking earlier. And the only bits which I think might need a little bit of work is just on the corners of the bumper down here. This one's actually alright, I think, isn't it? Yeah. Anyway, we'll leave that to the body shop because obviously they're going to want to have their own input on how it's done, I guess. Door shut gap, done. We've done a lot, Dud. We've done well.
We've done a lot. It's looking really good, to be fair.
I can't believe how well it turned out.
Tiny bit of sanding down these lines here just to perfect it before the paint goes on. That's it. Easy peasy.
Happy days.
Eh?
Yeah, no.
It's not late now, is it?
Not at all, no. Now, if you want a kit like this yourself, or a kit for pretty much any other car, Dud can supply and fit them as well to this standard and better. Probably better actually, because I've not touched it. So if you do want to get in touch with him to get any custom body kits fitted, you do wrapping, tuning,
full vehicle customization.
Anything you need doing, Dud's the man to go to. He is in Ulster. Yeah, if you need him, I'm going to leave his links in the description. Go check him out, cool guy. And yeah, he knows his stuff, so I'll leave his links down there. Now, one final talking point for just tonight is this, the splitter. Now, this isn't a replica of the Black Series part. This is an addition to the replica of the Black Series lip because it goes on this kit, something like that. I don't hate it. I don't mind it, it's a bit of an extension, but here is my concern, because that's going to be much easier to catch on a speed bump, on just, well, anything basically, and then it could in turn rip all of this off, damage this, and just cause a whole world load of headaches. So am I best off just running without it? I'm going to give it some thought. It might be something that I'll put on when I go to shows or something like that, but don't use regularly because it's fairly easy to take on and off. I think that might be the best way of doing it, actually, now I think about it.
Now, we had to drain the oil in the car earlier in the video to fit the new oil cooler line, so I've popped on a new filter and some fresh Mercedes oil to go in too.
Right, she starts. That's good. Now what I need to do, because I've done as much as I can right here, is get this car to the body shop. And obviously I can't drive it there, so we're gonna have to trailer it. But you guys need to see what you think to this kit.
Man, you hella won't. I'm gonna pop some tags. Only got $20 in my pocket. I'm hunting, looking for a comer. This is awesome. I'll wear your granddad's clothes. I look incredible. I'm in this big ass coat from that thrift shop down the road. I'll wear your granddad's clothes. I look incredible. Come on, man. I'm in this big ass coat from that thrift shop down the road.
The AMG is now looking a hell of a lot better than it was at the start of the video. We've got the panel gaps somewhere near where they need to be, but now it's over to the guys at Flat Out Paint Shop who are going to take over from here, and this is going to take a few weeks. It's not an overnight process, so bear with me on it. Right, a few days later and I'm back down at Flat Out. Well, I've been working on other stuff, but these guys have been hard at work because, well, you can't see it now, but they've sorted out all of the panel gaps and all the sanding, built up certain areas where it needed building up, and started now masking, ready to get this thing in primer. So, bonnet is masked off individually, so we're going to keep these sections in carbon, and these sections are going the body colour, which is how the Black Series actually is, so that's technically right. Over here, all the repair work's done on the doors, so all the filler work, they've attached on the arch extensions and smoothed those in, so it's as it should be. Now, these came as one piece, which went down into the side skirt, and we've decided to chop it where that joins, so we should in theory be able to remove the side skirt and put it back on without causing any dramas there, which I think is the right way of doing it. Obviously all the windows have been removed, so that's ready to rock. Rear bumper is all prepped up and ready to go. I'm not going to touch it. What we got in here?
Side skirt.
Ooh. Some of these needed some repairs, isn't there? Some like chunks out and stuff, weren't there?
Chunks out the bottom.
But looking good now, and also with the extension on this section as well. Nice. So these are going to be the first bits to be primed then, are they?
Wings, bumper, bonnet.
Nice. Sounds good. Also on the wings, even though this isn't how it would be on a Black Series, these are exposed carbon, so I feel like it's rude to then paint them. So we're going body colour here, leaving it carbon here. And then the front bumper is all stripped down and ready to go. You can see where the guys have had to work it back in certain areas, sort it out on the front lip here, and add a bit of extra material down here as well. Now hopefully when we bolt that back up, it should fit perfectly. This is always like the most exciting part for me, seeing it all come together, all go in one colour. Even if it's just primer, it's like, it's when it all starts to turn around and you start to see like the light at the end of the tunnel. I'm buzzing. Well, here we have it. Everything is now primed and looking pretty sick.
Oh, sorry.
Happy with it? Yeah. I mean, as happy as you can be for now.
Yeah, until we start blocking it down.
Yeah, all that hard work and you've got to sand it back down again, but everything looks relatively smooth, doesn't it? There's nothing that's like jumping out.
Yeah, not too bad.
Not too bad.
Not too bad.
I kind of like it in this colour, I can't lie.
What, Battleship Grey?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's not staying, it's a get over it.
Right, let's get these bits out. Time for the car to come in.
So after a final wipe down and tack cloth, the Merc can now get the primer all over the body, covering over the repaired areas which we've done.
Well, the Merc is now in primer on the body, so that's the doors and the rear quarters covered, and the rear bumper in the booth right now, and the other panels have already been done. So now it's more sanded, unfortunately, which is exciting stuff, but it's part of the process. It's got to be done. It also highlights other areas which need a little bit more finessing, so that'll be done, and that's going to take a couple of days to do. So I'm going to pop back later in the week after the guys at Flat Out have done a bit more work getting these ready for paint, and then we shall see some colour on this car finally. Now, while the guys here are prepping to get that in its actual final paint, we need to start looking forward at what we're going to do next on the car, because the project doesn't finish when it's painted. There's still a lot more to do. So we have the guys from Wheelmania down here to try and size up and figure out what sort of wheels that we're going to go for on this car.
Because wheels can be the make or break factor when it comes to a build, in my opinion, so I want to make sure that I nail this. I don't want to go with a factory wheel. I want to do something a little bit different, and I want to make sure they fit the car and this body perfectly. That's why I've got these guys down here, and they're going to make sure that we do exactly that.
Okay, well, I forgot the locking wheel nut because I'm a doofus. Had one job. But we can make do for now, because we can measure from the old standard wheel and then what that comes to on the arch, so we can figure out how much room we've got there, and also because with so much access here we can measure how much room we've got on the back as well, which then is going to give us a gauge of how much wheel we'll be able to fit and how much width, because obviously this car isn't going to be staying standard power. We want to get as much meat on the road, as much tyre as possible, to give us as much grip so we can go as fast as possible on the racetrack. Smart. On the racetrack, yeah.
So the guys from Wheelmania take measurements from the back of the wheel to the most restricting part of the rear, and then also the same at the front, from the face of the wheel to the furthest out it can come on the arch, to make sure it doesn't rub. But we're still not sure what style of wheel we're going to go for, so we've got a couple of styles with us which we can mock up and put next to the car and see what we think.
I don't know what this. They do look good, don't they? Is that a 19? That's a 20. Does look nice. So we've got some potential options on wheels, and we now know roughly what sizes we're going to need, but there is also the option of doing something, I don't know, a bit more something, but we've just got to work it out and see if it's an option and viable, because if it is, I want to do it, because I want to make it special. So we are now possibly at the most exciting point of this build, where the car starts to get some paint on it, some paint of the right colour, and it's been a long way we've come to get the car from where it was to this point here. Now the Black Series does come with a black boot. Now I'm not the biggest fan of this. I don't love it, I don't hate it. I know Shmee painted his car completely and changed his boot to body coloured, and I'm going to do the same. I'm going to keep the boot blue to go with the rest of the car, rather than doing it black in the style of the Black Series. But I'm sure that all just comes down to personal preference. That's just what I like. But for now, I'm going to leave this in the capable hands of the guys at Flat Out Paint Shop and let them get this car painted in peace.
And I couldn't be more excited to see how this car turns out, because it's come so far from the salvage example which we picked up from Copart weeks ago, going through all of the drama of finding and sourcing the parts to repair it, and then also finding this body kit to make it that bit more spectacular. This is the make or break moment where this car truly gets transformed and gets its new paint job. And we can already see that all of the hard work that these guys have put into getting these panels right is paying off, because as the paint's going down, these panels look almost flawless. And I don't know about you guys, but I feel like this shade of blue accented with all of the carbon parts is going to suit this car perfectly. Now, some parts of this paint job are quite complex because I've had to mask off the areas which I want to keep carbon and then also remove the masking mid-paint so they can clear coat it as one to make sure that the paint job is completely seamless.
And it's a few days later and I'm back. I haven't seen anything of the car yet, I haven't seen anything painted, and I'm super excited to see how this paint job has turned out and see how far the guys have got. So let's go and take a look. And that. Hello! Alright.
Not too close to that, it's not finished yet. No, I didn't know it was coming. Surprise.
That looks sick.
Just done it.
Oh.
Oh.
Sick.
Oh wow.
I'm just grunting like it's just sexy. I'm gonna start humping it. So there's a whole bunch of carbon bits here which still need to go on, but I've also picked these up. Do you want to guess, Reagan, what these cost?
£300 each.
No. These are genuine AMG carbon door sill plates, and these have a retail price of £12.50 plus VAT each. That's ridiculous, isn't it? I managed to get these for £75 each and we've just re-clear coated them. So I'd say that is money well spent if you ask me. Well worth the saving. So.
When you asked me and you realised the phone, it was like, buy, no.
Luckily, when Ethan was picking up the parts, he seen them and then we checked the price on them and then knew what we'd get them for. So definitely a good purchase, I'd say. So yeah, that was a win. But there's still loads of that stuff to go on. So from this point now, even though the car is blue, every single piece that we add on is going to start making it look even more special and interesting. But we need to take the car in order to do something with it, which I booked in for Monday this week, which I shall show you. Because around the back, you can see the exhaust tips are in the complete wrong place, and that's no good. We don't want that. So we're going to take it to Norwich, we're going to pick it up on Saturday, take it on Monday, bring it back here the same day for these guys to finish it off. But we just want to make sure that there's going to be no dramas by, you know, running the car and melting stuff. It's just not going to be a vibe. So that's on the list of things to do. These guys are going to have some bits still here to crack on with, because obviously we're not going to drive it there, we're going to trailer it. But we're getting close, we're getting close. Everything's blue and everything's looking good. So we are down at RPM Performance with the AMG GT, and these are the same guys which manufactured the Mark 8 Golf exhaust for my Mark 8 Golf. And I was that impressed with it, I know I can trust them to make sure that this is going to be spot on. We need to get this back box, well, more accessible for a start off, then probably definitely off. So the first step is that, under trays off, let's go from there. Yeah. Go on, Ethan, you can't stop him. He's a man on a mission. Oh, yeah, that's sick. Man. That's a well nice frisbee.
And then just stick on your wall.
Oh, thank you, man. Love that. That's sick.
So it's off with all the under trays. And now we can try and see what's going to work. These guys have got some dual tips lying around which would be much easier to make, but unfortunately they just wouldn't line up correctly. It had been a lot of work to get these right. So the option was going to have to be completely manufacturing out of tips and pipe work, the adapter which we need to get the exhaust in the right place, but I wanted to protect the paintwork with a bit of masking tape and then we can get started.
Whilst the guys here are figuring out what to do with these tips and how the hell they're going to do it, we're going to have to strip off some of this metal bracing underneath. We're going to need to drop this exhaust down so they can weld what they're doing onto it. So, got some bolts to waz out here.
Manual labour time.
I know, yeah, my favourite sort. Get back!
Was this a wobbler?
Part 3.
Just like that.
Just like that.
Master Tech.
Thank you, man.
Master Tech, man. So proud of you. That's a lovely t-shirt you got on there, Chris.
Thanks, man. We've actually got some new t-shirts coming out and they're going to be released by the time this video comes out. It's the AMG GT Blue Series t-shirts, which are on screen right now. They're £35 for the t-shirts, £50 for the hoodies, and we can also get this one as well. which is
Oh my god.
X3M t-shirt. Never drive something boring, so go to the link in the description to grab your Chris Slicks merch. chrisslicks.co.uk.
So once they've got an idea of where the tips need to go, they can start manufacturing the adapters up and how they're going to join the two together to make sure all the tips are functional. Once everything was cut and marked exactly where it needed to go, the guys at RPM could start welding these up. Now it's important, if anyone's welding near you, make sure you don't look directly into the light because this can cause permanent eye damage. But now the adapters are all welded, we can check the fitment on those and make sure the exhaust tips are going to sit just in the right place. And then complete them by welding on the 4.5-inch exhaust tips.
So here are the pieces which we've made up. We've got the new exhaust tips welded in place, and now all we need to do is drop down the back box again, get these on, weld them up, is that right? Yeah. You wouldn't believe how complex these are to make. There's some crazy shapes and positions going on, but we've got there now, so let's get these on.
So we can now get the exhaust fitted up for the final time, and here is the finished result.
Well, we're done. There's a little bit of tweaking to do at the end, but we got there eventually. So we've got we've got these 4-inch, 4.5-inch carbon fibre tips with like a brushed silver centre, which looks really smart, I think. I think it fits in with everything perfectly, looks smart, fills the hole nicely, and means that the exhaust gases are going to be coming out the back of the car, which is where you want them. Now, if you want to get any custom exhaust work done or get any bits off the shelf, go to RPM Performance. I'm going to leave their links in the description. So, car is back out flat out, and we've got a lot to get on with. This is the first point. So these side grills on the Black Series kit are much smaller than the grills which come on the normal GT bumper, because on the GT the side rads which do the charge cooling are there, and on the Black Series they are here. So what we're going to have to do to help with the cooling side of things is we're going to run these brake ducts here. These are actually from a E92. They're a brake cooling duct system thing which I've now reused for this. I was going to put it on my other car, but we're going to put these from there and run the hose towards the rads on the side, which is going to help keep the charge temperatures nice and low. Hopefully that's going to be enough. So we've got these cable tied onto the back of the grille, hiding behind the carbon. Let's have a look at this bumper now. It's fully painted and assembled. Oh my God, that looks incredible. Can't believe it. Now there's a few things which we've had to do in order to make the electric side of things work on the car. The parking sensors, we put one here, and then you've had to do some craftsmanship. Yeah. So these guys have made these carbon boxes here to house this parking sensor to make sure it's not too low where it's going to clash with the splitter or the floor, and well, there was nowhere else to mount it really. So I think that once the whole bumper's cleaned up, you'll never even tell. Nice work. Thanks. Right, should we mock this up then? Yeah. And see how the face of this car is going to look. How mega does that look? And well, I can't even see where they are. There it is. There it is. There's our cooling vent for the charge cooler side rad things. So I'd say that's a pretty nice fix to that whole scenario, presuming that gives enough cooling. But oh mate, I'm so excited. So front bumper is going on, and as you can see just here, our ducting is now going in towards the rad. So we've got that duct in there, but we've got another job to do whilst we're here, because we've got a new windscreen and a man to fit it. Boom, you alright, Archie? So, you've got to do some things and some stuff, and then we're going to put this glass in. Got some Mercedes genuine glass, so it's going to be genuine and good and that. So Archie can get the car prepped, ready to receive the new windscreen, and once all the bonding and adhesive is in place, I can give him a hand popping that in. Now Archie's popped in the new windscreen, we can fasten up this bumper once and for all, and then it's on to the next piece, and it's all starting to come together and getting exciting. Okay, time for the bonnets, and well, I think this has probably been one of the trickier bits to paint, I'd imagine. There was a lot of filling work to do and stuff to get it looking flat on the painted areas. Obviously we've then masked off the carbon areas, removed the masking and clear coated the whole thing as one. Say we, I mean these guys. But now everything is on the front end bar the bonnet, and that's going to be the piece which is going to complete the look of the front of this car. Let's get it on. And we've come so far with this car, this feels like seeing the full front end on is going to be such a big deal. And I can't wait to actually get to drive this car, but we've still got a little bit of work to go. But how epic does this look? Down she comes.
You right?
Yeah, I've got this one.
That looks so good. Fair play, that looks sick.
Happy?
Very, very happy. It looks better than I ever thought it would.
Yeah.
It's back! And my God, does it look good, but we're still not quite done with this car, because now, even though the paintwork side of things is finished, there's still a huge list of things which we need to do to this car before it's ready to hit the road for the first time. And here's a very quick list for you. At the moment we have no arch liners, which is going to be a complication in itself. The interior is still missing plenty of pieces. We still have a fair few warning lights on the dash, the wheels, which I'll come back to later, and a whole host of other faults, and that's what we really need to sort out to take this car to that level where it's ready to go and hit the road. And with so many jobs to do, it's hard to know where to start, but I think where I'm gonna go is the interior. Get the inside boxed off, get that completely done, and then move on to the exterior. Start from the middle and work outwards. Now, if you come with me round into the garage section of the unit, I've got everything I brought from home, which got took off a long time ago, ready to go back on the car. But because it has been sat in there while we've been doing all sorts of other work, it's all filthy, so it's not ready to go back in. So I need to clean everything as it's going in, which I'm gonna gloss over pretty quickly for you. But this is everything I think I need to get the interior back to the condition it should be in. But the only problem is, it's been so long since I did it, I cannot remember for the life of me what order it all goes in, which is just great.
Hopefully I remember right, and if I do, these are the first bits to go back in. So the interior can start going back together, and it did take us a little while to remember where everything goes, but we got there in the end.
Well, interior is slowly coming together, apart from a few missing little bits, which I'm sure will show up in time anyway, I hope. Fingers crossed they do. All the headlining's back in, everything apart from the steering wheel is finished in here, and the door cards. So, the door cards are the next thing to go on.
So I left all of the bolts for the door cards inside the door, which made things a lot easier, but whilst I did the passenger side, my mate Sam tackles the driver's side. Sam had fun inside.
Oh yeah, it's a dream.
Apart from a good clean up and a steering wheel airbag.
It's done. I'm happy about that because that means we can move on to the next job. There's still loads of little touches to do, and one of those being the battery, because the one that I put in right at the start of this build series is not the right one for the car. It's just a cheap one. Because these come with, I think it's a lithium ion battery, which is like super lightweight. This battery was only like £150 and it has worked just about, but it's not powerful enough for this car. So we've tried to save the super expensive battery with some help from Dips.
Hello.
Hey man.
How's it going?
Good. So this, let me just give you an idea of how light this battery is. Ooh. Which is good, but it is about £1,000. So Dips has had it on charge for on and off about 3 months.
Yeah, that's it.
Trying to bring it back to life, trying to save me having to spend £1,000 on a new battery.
We've got it up to 70%, and then it dropped back down to 60, went to 80, then dropped down to 70, and then I tested it before I came and it's gone back down to 60. So hopefully once you run it, it should be all right.
That's what we're going to try and do. Get it in the car and then see if it can charge off a twin turbo V8 better than it can off a plug socket. That's the aim anyway.
So we can take out the battery which we've got in the car at the moment, which isn't the right one, and replace it with the original one which Dips is recharged, and fingers crossed that's gonna work. So original battery is now back in.
Let's see if the car will start under its own power now.
Ooh. Oh yeah.
50% of the time it works every time.
We saved it!
Well, it looks that way, doesn't it? It seems a lot happier.
Yeah.
Nice work.
We've got more electrical jobs for Dips because there's some bits which we need to make work. Mainly, I think this was the main one, weren't it, Dips? The new brake light, which is in the spoiler, because at the moment there's no plug to go to the brake light there because this car doesn't come with one there. It's got one at the top of the window. So we're going to try and... Should we use both of them, do you think?
And we can see, and if it looks good, keep them. If not, then we can use just the spoiler one.
That sounds like a plan.
So we need to get behind these plastics here.
Have a look at that and then see if we can get it up to there.
Now the other complication is we didn't have the plug for the brake light, so we're going to have to make something work. But luckily Dips is the man for electricals, so he's got this sorted. So we're going to cut down the plug, which will give us better access to the pins, and then Dips has got something in mind to make this work.
So basically, where the plug sits, it's got quite a lot of depth on it. And because we don't have the actual plug for it, what we've done is we've cut it down ever so slightly so we can see the pins. Then I'm going to put 2 fresh pins inside there, and then we'll seal that up, make a little fly lead with a little plug on the end, and then run that through. So if you ever do need to disconnect anything, it's all factory finish.
That's what it's all about. That's all Dips does, is factory or better.
Yeah.
So Dips gets to work on sorting out that third brake light in the spoiler, doing exactly as he said. And then once he's done, I can put the final boot trim in place, and that's the brake light sorted.
Right, the boot is completely back together. Can I close it?
Yeah.
It's done.
Let's see if it works now.
I know, yeah. Well, we're going to find out.
Because you're going to hop in the driver's seat.
Ooh. 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 They're bright, aren't they?
Working good, yeah?
Yeah, looks good, man.
Happy days.
It's not how we expected it to look, because it's only got like 2 each side of it, isn't it? I thought it was going to be like a solid thing, but doesn't look bad. Still looks good to me, and it's even. It'd be bad if it just had random LEDs out, but I'm guessing that's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, it looks good.
Sweet. Big man Dips.
No worries.
P1 auto keys. You just do keys now, you do auto electrics now?
Yeah, mainly car keys, but then you get me doing everything, don't you?
Pretty much. That's what everyone wants you to do. It's what you're good at.
Basically, can everyone go and follow my P1 Auto Keys channel?
Dips has got a YouTube channel now because he's a legend.
Cheers for that, Chris.
It's alright, mate. I'm going to leave his link. Well, it's going to be the bottom, just there, and also in the description.
Cheers, guys.
You can't not subscribe to a face like that. So, thanks to Dips, we've got the battery back in the car. Hopefully that survives. And also got the new brake light working as well. But now we need to go underneath the car because there's some bits under there which we need to tidy up. Again, to make it roadworthy. We're ticking through the boxes, ticking through the list of jobs and getting things done. We need arch liners. Luckily, the rear ones, from what I can tell, look like they should work with the standard ones and shouldn't need too much fettling or messing around, but we're gonna find out. There we go, original arch liner reinstalled. I've had to drill a couple of extra little fresh clip holes, but nothing too major. That is, well, it's got more fixings in than factory now, so that should definitely stay put. Now, for the wheels. Now, I've ordered something super special, but because they're so super duper special, they're being made to order to my specifications to make sure that they're perfect, basically, and they're gonna be worth the wait. But for now, we're gonna rock it with the factory wheels. I don't hate these wheels once they've been cleaned up. I'm sure they'll look fine, but they do sit too far into the arches. To make the fitment right, because they need to fill the arches a lot better, the guys from Wheelmania have gave us some 20mm spaces to get us by for now until those new wheels come. So that should hopefully sort out the fitment on a temporary basis. Okay, so rear arch liners are in. They took next to no messing, just a couple of extra holes needed drilling, and we're on to the fronts. I've done some messing around in the engine bay, putting the cover on the battery, the clamp, putting this heater box back in, and also on this side I've also put the wiper mech back in, which I lost, but actually it turned out it was tucked down here. But the front arch liners are going to be a bit more of a pain because they're wider arches than the standard car, because it's a replica of the Black Series kit. But the problem with that is that the Black Series and the normal AMG GT are slightly different. So technically, neither of the arch liners are going to work. And that's because of these coolers here, the charge coolers. They actually, on the Black Series, integrated into the center rad. So that means there's nothing here. So on the Black Series, this will be completely smooth, where we don't want that because we need some airflow going through it. So that means we need to use the standard arch liners from the car and then make them work. Because the problem here, as you can see, is this is the new section installed on the back. There is a gap from here which goes all the way up here. It tightens up at the top and then does the same on this side. So we need to get them installed and then figure out how we're going to fabricate a piece to go in there to stop this filling up with stones and mud. It's one of those things, there's no simple solution for it. This is a kind of custom car now, so we're going to have to make custom things to make the custom car work properly. So to figure out exactly what pieces I'm going to have to put in, I'm going to install new arch liners completely on both sides on the front. Right, both sides of the arch liner are in. Hopefully you guys can see this, but you can see where the gaps are. We've got one which we need to fill in here, and also one over here as well. Now, how are we going to do it? That's the question. And in order to get this as good as we possibly can, we're going to use CAD. I don't mean CAD software, I just mean cardboard aided design. So I'm going to template in here with this piece how I want to make it, the shape I want to get it to, the overlap I need to make in order to clip it all together. So I'm going to use this to make that template and then copy this design into an old piece of arch liner which I can clean up and put in its place. Good thinking. Let's see how it works. So once I'd cut this piece of cardboard into exactly the shape it needed to be to fill in the gap on the arch liner, I could then take it over to one of the ones which we removed off the car and then use that to then cut out the new piece in a matching material to the rest of the arch liner, so all it will need is a clean to look like a perfect match. And if you guys can see it, see, there we go. Not the worst job I've ever done. Same here, pretty happy with it, to be honest. It's one of those things, there's no perfect solution for it, but I think that's as good as we're gonna get. So there's another job ticked off. Now to get the under tray on, and then we've got quite a few more bits to do, to be honest. I wish I could say we were nearly there, but we're not. So now we've got all the arch liners in. The only bit of underbody paneling left to do is this front under tray, which had to do a little bit of trimming on to make it work with the bumper, but apart from that, it was a OEM install, so nice, quick and easy.
Progress is going well. Underbody, completed it, mate. So we've got all of the under trays on, the arch liners on, and the new pieces made as well. And now it's down on the floor. I don't think you can even really tell, so I'm pretty happy with that job. All the body panels are on, most of the interior is in, but we've still got those last little few bits to get through, and we've made a list for it to make it easier for you and me to comprehend. Let's go have a look. So this is our list of jobs to do, and just over here you can see we've got other things to do, which is get a whiteboard pen, because at the moment we're using a Sharpie and this will probably never come off. But anyway, we need to have a look at the spoiler bolts because they are a bit tatty. We need to do the airbag in the steering wheel, we need to sort out some number plate, check the tyre pressures, put some wipers on it, clean the car because it's not really properly been cleaned ever, do the windscreen scuttle, do a test drive, do a small snag list and torque the wheels preferably before the test drive. So that's quite a simple list of jobs to do. All seems very doable. So hopefully by the end of, well, I think lunchtime, we'll have this smashed out, we'll go home, call it a day. Sound good, Regan?
I'll get that done.
Damn. So spoiler bolts is the first thing on our list because these are very ugly. Not nice. Now these are the ones that just came with the kit, so we put them in for now because they work physically, but aesthetically they're hurting my eyeballs. So I've got something much more, what's the word I'm looking for here? Nice. So these are like countersunk washers, and instead of having a big flat massive metal one, we're going to have these instead with countersunk bolts, so it's all going to sit nice and flush. That'll be much smarter. So we can swap these out, it should be pretty easy, and move on to the next job. New bolts and washers installed, look much smarter. I know some of you are going to say I should get black ones, but I can just change them in the future if they ever bother me, but they're not bothering me right now, so they can stay.
What we need to do is we need to tick it off.
Ah, yes, we do. Right.
Okay.
Airbag. Oh.
This.
Yeah, boy. Airbag is next. So the new airbag has come wrapped in loads of mini airbags. That's going to be satisfying peeling that. That one. Then, I think I'm missing a part of my steering wheel, Reagan. Yeah, I'm missing the spring that it clips into, isn't I?
Oh, let's see.
Yeah, we'll just fix it in our own time. It's just, oh, it's so satisfying. Look how good it looks. Oh, great job. Another high five. This is satisfying now. Just, you know, just ticking off jobs, rapid time, done. Number plates. Now, I do have the number plates for the car, but I want to talk about this. This car's staying. Do I put a private plate on it?
Yeah, you've got to, haven't you?
Should we just picture how it looks? Let's just
put it on the car. Put it on the car already. Yes.
Do you think that looks legit?
I think just stick the phone on there. But I think the Chris one is cool because like it does actually. Yeah.
Let's buy it.
Let's buy it. Oh, we're doing it right now. Yeah.
Mate, it's so cheap. It's 154 quid. This is the standard plate for the car, HY16LDL, and I've just realised a problem that I didn't even cross my mind because where am I supposed to put this?
Yes.
That just looks like horrendous. That looks terrible. That looks awful. That looks awful. Someone please tell me, where am I supposed to put that? I've got an idea. I just don't know. I do want to put one on there because I don't want to get moaned at for it, but I just don't know where to put it. Yeah, that's low. Pop it! Tyre pressures, get gone. Right, let's see if with one we can get it out of the unit, because that's a problem in itself. Two, get these bits cleaned up.
Yeah, go on. Yeah, good.
Here's my thinking, right, that wasn't too bad to get out of there. Like, anything lowered is going to struggle bad. So, how bad does this look not lowered? Is it worth lowering? I don't think it looks too bad. Second thoughts, it's quite dusty today and quite dry, so I think let's do a test drive now, because everything's torqued, tyre pressures are sorted, seems to be running well even though it's got some warning lights on. So let's go do that, run it up and down the lane, and then get it washed, and then put it back inside and check over all the other bits. It does sound good.
That is nice.
But it sounds a little bit muffled. It's a bit like this.
Do you think, yeah?
Here we go then, first test drive in the AMG GT. It's saying the tyre pressures are wrong, but we've already sorted them, so it probably just needs driving to calibrate. The tracking is out, which is nice. No nasty knocks and bangs. Let's see how many nasty noises it makes. Some noise coming from the back. I don't know what that is though.
That's just the sheer downforce.
Yeah, so much downforce, I don't know what to do. It feels like a bit of a brute, you know. I can't lie. It feels really nice.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good form, man.
Thanks, man. It's almost like you used to do it for a living.
Oh, really?
Yeah, mad that. I can see this becoming a bit of a problem. Car's clean, I've just messed up the windows, but now we can see everything that needs tidying up on it. Ready to go when I actually get to drive it on the road. Is there anything else left to do on the list? There's got to be. Wipers, no point doing them until I get the new scuttle panel, which I've ordered from Mercedes at the cost of 360 quid plus VAT, so let's just put a dash next to that for now. Clean is done. Windscreen scuttle, same story. Test drive, we have drove it up and down the road. It seemed fine, didn't it? Yep. Okay, that one can go.
But we still had some fault codes left on the car, so we borrowed this much more expensive code reader to try and see what they were and what we could just clear and what were actually faults that need fixing, and it came back with a few.
We've cleared the fault codes using the more fancy code reader and it's done a much better job. We're down to 4, which is pretty good for a car from me, I can't lie. The 4 that we've got is one's for the aircon, probably because it's got no gas in it. One for the MRM steering column control unit. I think that's because I've not plugged some stuff in behind the airbag. We're missing like the wiring for the paddles and stuff like that. And then one for the front acquisition control unit, which I'm guessing is the radar, because it's probably not been coded in. Well, it's not been coded in yet. Engine hood has a malfunction, there's no signal change, but it's weird because the hood latch sensors are working. And then the other ones are for windshield wipers, which I'm guessing is because we've unplugged the thing in the windscreen and we've not coded that back in yet. Yeah, refrigerant level low. So 4 faults, I'll take that, it's much easier to deal with. Hopefully it's just plugging stuff back in, getting the aircon gassed. Got to look at the hood latch situation. Not too bad. Okay, a few days later and fresh delivery because the scuttle panel that we had got knackered and now this one isn't knackered even though this costs £360 plus VAT. Scammed. We can get this tatty old one off. Yep, that's it. Need to get your little thing through there. Like that.
That's it.
Ooh, that looks good. I reckon we're done here. We've just got some last few faults to sort. We've got some professional help coming. And the professional has just got here. Professional.
Ooh, carbon.
Looking well, though, isn't it?
Ooh. Yeah, lovely.
So Mark, who is a Mercedes specialist, has popped over to try and help us figure out these last final few faults, so the first time I hit the road, the car should be fault-free. At least that's the aim anyway.
None of the parking sensors in this car worked, and it's coming up actually with the sensors being faulty, isn't it?
Sensors, yeah,
but
at the moment.
that may just be being thrown out by something else, because Mark has found that the rear indication light, basically what you see in the mirror, is what's in here. That one of the pins in the plug, not looking good, is it?
You bent it.
I bent it, yeah, I
bent
probably
it.
bent it.
So Mark was able to rejig the pin and then straighten it out, and hopefully that's going to fix the fault and make the parking sensors work.
It says stored now.
There you go.
Does that mean it's fixed?
Yeah, so then
That means, hold on, wait, let's show the people at home. Communication with rear warning indicator has malfunction. Can't talk. Stored.
So now if you just
Clear.
give it that.
Oh, no fault code stored in the fault memory. Does that mean my parking sensors are going to work? Let's find out. So we have a fault stored on the car saying that the wipers, is it no communication with the wiper motors?
We've got no communication with the master wiper motor.
Ooh, master. Now I have had one of the wiper motors out but left the other one in place. You would presume that when the car was crashed, the wipers probably worked. Otherwise it would have been quite awkward to drive if you got caught in the rain. But it might be something I've done, it might not be, it might be a fuse. But Mark is just, I know he's got this in him. I know he's got it.
Good power there.
Yeah.
And a good earth there.
Mm-hmm.
We've got an earth. We've got no power.
Got no power.
So we're going to look at fuses.
Ooh, fusing.
We're hoping it's just a simple fix of fuse.
I found the fault.
What's that?
It's not plugged in.
Oh, you unplug that?
I can't say it was me.
It was you. Yeah. Oh, what a silly, silly little mistake.
So we managed to find the fault, and that was because when we actually had some problems with the car starting, we removed an immobiliser, and then when we did that, we must have unplugged that and forgot about it. But now it's onto the computer because we need to code out the rear spoiler and also see if we can turn off some of the airbag faults which just need resetting.
So, how's the dashboard looking now then, Marky?
Clear-ish. So, oh, hang on then. So, we started off with airbag faults.
Yep,
We've got rid of all of those.
yep,
They just needed clearing out.
yep.
The front radar needs calibrating.
Okay.
So that needs a drive. Takes about 25 minutes, as I said. And then all of these will go off. This is just because it needs that drive.
Okay, so all we've got is a TPMS light.
Yep, which will probably go off when you drive it.
Yeah, and then we've got the malfunctions in the middle.
Which is to do with the front radar.
So that's all
The
front
fact
radar.
The Distronic doesn't
Everything
work.
else
Yeah.
is clear and working. We got
Yep.
the parking sensors working. We got
Parking
the
sensors work.
windscreen wipers
Windscreen
working.
wipers working. Yeah, so once you start driving it, it'll be fine.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think you
Jobs are
smashed
good
that,
un.
mate. Thank you for that.
Anytime.
If anyone needs any specialist Mercedes help, is it just Mercedes you specialise in? Or?
I specialise in Mercedes, but I'm pretty good with lots of things.
So, faults that people can't fix.
Yep, faults that people can't fix, coding that people can't do.
And keys.
And keys from many makes and models.
So now to get ready for our first proper on-the-road test drive, we've got to put the number plate on, and the private plate hasn't all gone through yet, so we have to put this one on for now. And also we have the rear badge to fit, but it turns out I was missing some plastic pins which go in the holes and hold it in place, so we'll have to just put that in properly when those show up.
And the car's come a long way from where it started, but it's about to go a lot further. I'm doing the biggest road trip I've ever done in this car, and it needs some work before it. Because we need to make sure this car is the best it can possibly be to make sure it doesn't let me down when I'm thousands of miles away from home. So that makes the first job of this video protecting this paintwork. I've spent thousands of pounds getting this right with the guys at Flat Out Paint Shop, and now it's time to make sure that it's going to stay looking this good. So we're PPFing the car with the guys at Finch, and well, I say we, these guys are doing it because it's not something that I'm very good at. Now I come from a detailing background, and even though this is something which I've dealt with before, it's not something which I would class myself as skilled at in any way, shape or form. It's an art getting this right, and it's completely different to wrapping a car. So paint protection film is a clear layer which we put on top of the paint, which makes it resistant to stone chips and self-heal scratches, keeping the paint looking good for years to come. And it's different to wrapping because you put it on wet rather than dry, which makes actually fitting the film a completely different ball game.
So whilst these guys were hard at work protecting my pride and joy, there were some extra little bits I needed to get from the main dealer before we leave for the trip.
Right, just been into my local Mercedes dealer, picked up some spares for the trip because, well, these are the V8 bi-turbo badges which go on the side of the car. They're not spares. I've also got some new boot kind of shock absorber things because my boot's a little bit noisy at the moment. But I've got a spare spark plug and a spare ignition coil as well. Now, believe it or not, the ignition coil, or paquet de bobine for those OG subscribers, is £186 for one, and there's 8 of them. That's ridiculous, but it's always good to have spares when you're doing a massive trip like this because anything can go wrong. And the thing is, if you took the spare, you won't need it, but if you haven't, you will. Now, to customise this car a little bit more and take away from the non-facelifted front lights, we've actually put a tinted PPF on the front and on the rear lights too. Right, now we are on finishing touches and about ready to leave, but we've got the original number plate, and while it's off, it's the prime time to upgrade this. So we're going to be swapping it out to this one, Crib Slicks, or Crig Slicks, whichever way you want to say it. I think this is the perfect finishing feature for this car. What do we reckon? Yeah? Nice. Right, let's get this stuck on. By the way, bargain price on this plate, £250. Got it from Reg Transfers. They may have something which suits you, so go and check them out. Does that look straight? What do we reckon?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that seems straight as well.
Yeah. Send her home.
So now we can put all the finishing touches on the car. So we've got the number plates, the new boot stoppers, and also the badges too. And we're just about finished off here at Finch, but the next stop is something that I've been waiting for ever since we started putting this kit on.
And that's because I wanted to treat myself. In 2 days' time, I turn 30. Yes, that makes me old, but I think it's time that I treat myself to something special. And a lot of people will treat themselves to jewellery, like watches or something like that. But for petrol heads, it's always got to be wheels. And that's why we've come to Wheelmania and their brand new refurbished store in Birmingham. A few weeks ago, well, quite a few weeks ago actually, the guys from Wheelmania popped down to have a look at the AMG GT, and they brought down a few options. And these Vossens were one of the main things that I was looking at, and they are nice, but they weren't quite cutting the mustard. I wanted something really special, something to celebrate this build and really reward myself for all the hard work which we've put into this build and the channel so far. So to do something a bit more special for this car, we got the guys from Wheelmania to do us something completely custom. So they have made us these beautiful things. They are 2-piece splits, completely one of one to the AMG GT. I'm not going to look at them now until they're on the car, but you guys get to see it. Let's get these on. Right, they're on. I'm a bit nervous. This is definitely like the most expensive wheel I've ever put on my car in my life. I'm nervous to scratch them. Oh, that looks so sick. Yes, I love it. Have a look, see what you think. They look nuts, don't they? Do you think they look too big?
I think they're sick, mate. I think they're brilliant.
I think they look perfect. I definitely need to clean up my brake disc though. No, that looks rubbish back there. But the wheel itself looks perfect. I didn't want to put Black Series wheels on it because it's not a Black Series. I want to do something different. I want to make it stand out. No one with a Black Series would put these wheels on, so I've not got one, so I can. I think they look mega. I can't get over that. And also, chrome lip is a chrome circle. Do you know what else is a chrome circle? Chrome circle, also chrome circle. It all just ties together. It's like it's meant to be. I'm sure some of you are going to hate these, but the thing with wheels and the thing with modifying your car is you're doing it all to your personal taste. So it doesn't matter if you don't like it, it's my car. Before we had 19-inch all round. Now the reason I wanted two-piece is to have the separate silver and anthracite centre. So it had to go 21s on the rear and 20-inch on the front. It's a big wheel, but they're 305 wide, much wider than the old ones. We've got Michelin Pilot Sport 4Ss on them. I couldn't be happier with them. I know that some of you are going to hate them. It's a very personal taste thing. I think these look sick. So thank you to the guys at Wheelmania for building my dream wheels for my dream car. We've still got more work to do on this. We're back. Wheels are on. Rate them out of 10.
20.
Nice. Appreciate
They
it.
look lovely.
There is one thing which I want to do because it's really winding me up. It's really taking away from the look of the wheels, especially on the back, is these bits here on the brake disc. They're just rusty, looking rubbish, and really ruining the look of the wheel. So we're going to whip them off.
We are.
Give them a clean up.
With a proper wheel nut.
Yeah, nice.
So they don't scratch the
17s, I think. That should look a lot better, I think. One thing which I'm considering doing when we come back off the trip is maybe just changing the rear tyres for a slightly taller one, just give it a bit more meat. But apart from that, I love these wheels so much. They're gorgeous, yeah. Cool, let's do this.
So when we get the wheels off, we can see behind there the brake disc ain't looking so good. So once I've got those cleaned up with a wire brush, to make sure the surface is as smooth as possible and ready for paint, we can then mask the car off and then hit the discs with some etch primer. And then once that was dry, we did a few coats of high temperature silver brake caliper paint.
Here's the Techers to clean up the disc. Go on, Mickey. You're the man of experience. There we go.
That is better. We can't have it clogging up the brake pads.
No way, no.
Mercedes stopping power.
Look how much better that looks. There'll be a little bit of excess which needs to be cleaned off, but that'll, as soon as you press the brake pedal, the pads will clean that off. We'll be good to go, but it just stands out so much less. Makes the wheels look even better. Nice. Sometimes the little things make a big difference. Now those hubs are sorted, so on to the next thing, because ever since I drove this car for the first time up and down my road, it's had a rattle in the back which has plagued it and been so irritating. I don't know if my brain can cope with doing thousands of miles in this and having it bouncing around, and I don't know what it is. I've looked over quite a lot of stuff, and now
I'm gonna find the rattle.
You're determined to find it.
I'm gonna find it.
I will help you, but honestly, I have no idea what's causing it because it's so frustrating.
And Mickey was determined, so the first thing he wanted to do is whip the under tray off and have a good look.
Right, so let's have a look under here, see if we can get to the bottom of this once and for all. Because when I say it's irritating, I could not mean it anymore. With my entire whole being, it irritates the life out of me. The exhaust definitely sounds a little bit rattly, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What's that?
That's inside.
You reckon?
Yeah, that's the tap. Loose straight piping.
No.
It's definitely inside the box.
Yeah, you reckon?
100%.
There really is nothing obvious under here as to why it's making this noise.
Have you driven it without the tray on?
No, I don't think so. You found a small tree. Nice work. There really is nothing obvious, is there?
No.
Mickey? Nothing at all. Mickey!
I found it.
You reckon?
I'm 100%. Did your rattle sound like this?
What is that? Is that a drop link?
It's a drop link bar for the back. That's loose. That's the size of the top one.
How strange.
Sound like that, does it?
That would possibly generate a knocking, wouldn't it?
Yep.
That's so strange.
No, look how loose they are.
I know, I can see it. That's how loose it is. That's wild.
Look,
Why is it loose?
I have no idea. Who would even undo them?
That is a very strange thing to be loose because I haven't touched the back end at all. Not one bit.
So that is probably going to be the problem. So Mickey gets that tightened up for me. And we can drop the car back on the floor and hopefully call it a job ticked off the list.
Update for you on the rattle. Fair play, Mickey. It's fixed. Well done, mate. You're a star.
But there is one more rattle on the car, but to get this sorted, I've got to come down to Alamy Motorsport at Donington because my ramp still ain't working.
Say your piece.
I like them.
Oh, okay. So. I was ready to get ripped to shreds for them. What do you reckon?
Nice.
Yeah. They're different, but still cool.
I like it. Yeah, it's good.
Right, I've come down to Alamy Motorsport because I currently have no ramp still, but they are being turned on as we speak, but I needed a ramp urgently to put this on to get to the bottom of one of our last problems. And that is a rattly exhaust, but it's very easy and very quick to find what it is because, well, I think that would be the cause of it. I feel like this one's not quite seated right either, but at least it's solid. But I mean, this one's not even connected, so we must have messed that up when we had the exhaust off to do the tips. So that should be a nice, easy fix.
So luckily it was nothing too crazy, so we can get a new bolt put into that clamp. Get it pushed back together, tighten it up, and we should be ready to hit the road.
Okay, she's as ready as she's ever gonna be. Now, there's another complication. I'm gonna get back home to explain it. So the car's now clean and it is as ready as it's ever gonna be. But there is a problem with this because it's something I've not really thought through that much. And the problem lies in here, because when you're on a road trip, there's certain things you want to take with you. Ideally, a spare wheel. Not going to happen. So we've got a bit of oil, we've got a pump, we've got a tyre repair kit, the fluorescent thing, warning triangle, a toolkit from the guys at SGS, some loads of sticker number plate. But this is just the stuff to keep the car moving and also potentially get it going again if we do have problems. But we're going to make a video. So, camera gear. 1 camera bag, 2 camera bag. Right. And there's not much more space inside either. It's pretty tight in there. And here's the other thing. We could be gone for 2 or 3 weeks. So I'll do my best to get a video out as quickly as I can and get back as quick as I can to carry on the content. But we need to pack for 2 or 3 weeks worth of travel for 2 people because Liv's coming. And how we're gonna do that when the space is, well, a huge premium, I guess, is going to be tough. So we're going to have to pack light and hopefully it's all going to work out. So we're crossing the complete continent of Europe, going all the way from the UK right to the other side to Turkey. And what better car to do that ultimate Grand Tour in than a car that's been named after it, the AMG GT.
Budget. And it's always scary taking a car which you've rebuilt on a road trip because you never know if something that you've done is going to let you down. And the last thing you want is to break down thousands of miles away from home because there's no one there to help you. So as we landed into mainland Europe and into France, at this point we were just praying that we weren't going to have any problems.
We've already got a problem. We hit a pothole back in the UK. I kind of thought nothing of it, but the more we drive it, the more I notice it. I don't know how you can hear it, but when we change direction, so when you accelerate and then also when you brake, when you first do it, we're getting like a little knocky noise, which isn't good, especially when we've got over 2,000 miles ahead of us to get to Istanbul and we've still got to get home as well. Sometimes my luck amazes me. Really need to get this looked at, and there's unfortunately only one place that I know in the whole of Europe that I can go to do that. And that's to the Nürburgring. Again. Now, I know I said I wouldn't come back here anytime soon, but we've got no choice. Luckily, I've broken down here so many times that I've built quite a good list of contacts, and hopefully they can help me get this car fixed. So there's only one place I can think to come. Ring Toys. Richard saved my skin before in an F-Type. I'm hoping he can save my skin again.
And this really is the last thing we wanted. We've only just scratched the surface of our journey across Europe, and we've already got a problem. And it's not just me I'm letting down, my co-pilot isn't too impressed either. So as we raise the car up onto the ramp, I'm praying this is something which we can fix easily and it isn't going to slow our trip down. And even though underneath it looked a bit dirty, on first glance there wasn't anything too obvious that could be causing this knocking noise. Everything suspension wise looked okay until we noticed this.
Well, it's not took long to find the problem. They are the engine mounts. Well, that is the engine mount, and that's cracked. And the great news is, it's the same on the other side as well. So with 2 engine mounts down. Nice.
So with both engine mounts broken, this is really going to slow our trip down. We need to try and get this fixed, and get it fixed fast. Otherwise, our trip could be over practically before it's even really started.
So we need 2 engine mounts. I've spoken to my Mercedes dealer in Leicester, and the parts are 3 to 5 days delivery, but they're delivery from Germany. So surely it's got to be worth a shot whilst we're in Germany to try going to the main dealer here and see how quick they can get them.
So we limped the car 10 minutes down the road from Ring Toys to the local Mercedes dealer and went in begging for help. And the parts department here couldn't have tried any harder. And at first I thought they told me we could get those engine mounts in the next day, but it turns out it was the next hour. We couldn't believe our luck. That is German efficiency. Not only the mounts, but also all of the bolts that we need as well, just in case.
Well, here's the first one, which is cracked, but the second one, the passenger side, which is cracked even worse. No wonder it was making some funny noises.
Not good. I mean, that itself is very close to shearing off completely, right?
So we can call it bad luck that the car broke, or good luck that we can get it fixed so quickly. But as quick as that, we're back on the road.
I literally cannot believe my luck there. I've come out of that as best as I possibly can, really, to be back on the road the same day and still not be behind schedule. And it wasn't even that expensive. I think all in about 400 or 500 quid. I'll take it, gets us back on the road and keeps us on plan. Happy?
Happy.
Now the good news is, because we did so much driving yesterday by accident to get this car fixed at the ring, that means that our drive today is short. We're only going to get to Frankfurt, which is about 1 hour and 45, 2 hours, something like that. And that's our stop for tonight. Then the real driving kicks off tomorrow. And this is the only hotel on the whole trip which we've booked, but you'll see in a second why we've booked this one. So welcome to the Be Mine Hotel, and as you can see, the novelty with this is being able to park your car on the balcony to your hotel room. Even better, at night it looks like this. Cool, right? can't stand out here all night and stare at my car. I've got to get some rest because tomorrow is when it gets serious.
So the next morning we left the hotel nice and early because we've got plenty of stops planned along this trip.
And after a quick 2-hour drive, we're on to the first stop of the day.
And that first stop takes us to Stuttgart, the home of Mercedes.
And that's to the Mercedes Museum because I wanted to look at a load of cars which are loads better than mine.
And it felt cool bringing the Mercedes home and seeing all the heritage and history that goes with this brand.
So although the Mercedes Museum was cool, we didn't come here to look at cars, we came here to drive. So we started our journey here. At the moment we're about here and we're going to end up right down here. The UK to around here in Germany, not that exciting, but in this area here, there is quite possibly some of the best driving roads. So we're going to make it our side quest on this journey, whilst on the way to get a hair transplant in Istanbul, to find the best driving.
So welcome to the Black Forest. Over 6,000 square kilometres, 233 kilometres of twisting tarmac. Meaning that the B500 in the Black Forest is definitely in with a shot of being Europe's best driving road. And it did not disappoint.
Black Forest, great road. Little bit busy today, not sure if it's normally like that, but that's definitely going to be our benchmark, and I'll give it a solid 7 out of 10, well worth the visit. But let's see what we've got in store next.
So continuing along the B500 in the Black Forest, we stayed in a hotel overnight and weren't ready for the view that we were about to wake up to.
Right, it's the next morning. Let's do it. Another 6 hours driving today, 6 hours driving tomorrow. Eventually, we'll reach Turkey.
So now well rested, we can hit the road again and head towards our next stop off on this road trip. Which takes us just out of Germany and over the Swiss border to somewhere called Rhine Falls. Which is Europe's biggest waterfall, and although not strictly car related, it just feels like it'd be rude not to stop off and see some of the natural wonders that Europe has.
Do you like waterfalls?
Yeah.
Great. Well, so far the car's done pretty well bar the engine mount, but we have had one more thing which is causing us a problem.
It's this, the glove box. Somehow it's jammed open. We can't get it shut. What are you? What is wrong with you? Oh, fixed it.
Yeah, but it's not fixed because sometimes it wants to close and other times it doesn't, and I can't see a thing.
Well, it's closed now.
Well, we've got to open it again.
Well, just don't open it all the way. Yeah, fixed.
Right. Yesterday was about getting from the Black Forest to where we are now, which is Innsbruck. So from here, we've got possibly what is definitely a contender for the best driving road on this trip. So we need to go up there, have a drive, see how dangerous it is. So let's go and see, what's it called? The Grossglockner.
Say it again.
What is it? Which way around is it?
The Grossglockner.
Grossglockner.
The Grossglockner. 48 kilometres of perfectly maintained roads climbing Austria's highest mountain. With 36 hairpins and breathtaking views, this high alpine pass has potential to be one of the best.
The thing that makes this road dangerous is not only the sheer drops, but as you climb, the temperature drops rapidly. So we started off at 17 degrees, it's now well below 10, we're on 8 degrees now, so it could keep getting lower, and at the colder time of year, that could catch you out and cause dangerous icy spots, so you've got to keep your wits about you. So Grossglockner is good. The curves are good, the views are good, the roads are good, but it is cold and it's windy. It's an 8 out of 10 from me.
What's your rating?
I give it a 9 out of 10.
A 9.
She's kinder than me.
So after having an epic experience on the Grossglockner, I was on a high. I didn't feel like anything could go wrong.
I literally just said about that.
I can't believe it.
I can't believe you've done this.
For God's sake. How can I clean my shoe?
You have to use these.
Oh. Oh.
How did you manage that?
I wasn't looking. I'm going to be here forever. Look at the state of it.
Well, you're not getting in here without them.
I might have to leave them. It's a bad day. It was all going so well. I can't believe it.
He's using a stick to get it out the little cracks in the bottom of these shoes. Oh my god.
Right. Today is where things change a little bit, because every country we've been to so far is somewhere I've visited before. So that means I know what to expect. But the next country we're going to be passing through is Hungary. It's a country I've never been through and definitely never drove through before, so I don't really know what I'm going to get. The aim for today is to cross the entire width of it and get just into Romania. So we're going to be leaving Worthing in a minute. And we've not got the most exciting drive, but we've got a lot of ground to cover. We've made it to Romania. Is a town called Arad?
Yeah.
Arad. What a nice place. And the best part of it is, you seem to get a lot more for your money here. We got a full suite at a 5-star hotel for 190 quid. I'll take it. But there's one main reason we've come here, because this has one of the most famous driving roads in the whole of Europe, and we've just got to visit it before we make it to Turkey. Thank you.
So as the Carpathian Mountains in the distance became closer and closer, we knew that we were getting close to our destination. The Transfer-Garrison Highway. Voted by Top Gear as the best driving road in the world, I was hoping that this was going to be the icing on top of the cake for this trip. And the views were stunning.
So the I still can't say it. The Transfer-Garrison Highway, is that right?
Yeah.
Perfect. Is it the best driving road in the world? My opinion, absolutely not, because the road surface is just so poor, going up to it, coming down from it, and even on it, that it just takes away so much of the driving pleasure. So I hate to disagree with the holy trinity of TV car presenters, but it's just not. The Grossglockner is a far superior road for going there and enjoying driving your car, and I much prefer it. Disappointing.
And I'm not saying that it's not a beautiful place, because it most definitely is. The views are out of this world. But for something to be the best driving road, it not only needs the views and the turns, the twists, but it also needs to have the road surface to match, because if it hasn't got that, can you really enjoy a car like this there? Now, I have got to bear in mind that I'm coming here many years after the Top Gear trio came here, so maybe over time the road surface has deteriorated and not been maintained in the same way it was back then. But I have to give this road a rating, and the views are stunning, but the surface lets it down so much I really struggle to enjoy it, and that's why from me it gets a 6 out of 10. But it was made slightly better by this.
We've found a bear. It's a real bear. That's nuts. Look at the size of him. He's a big boy. You feel happy?
Yeah.
Because we see the bear.
It's so cute.
Hey, do not go and try and hug him. I guarantee he won't like you.
I feel really bad that the lights are just shining on
I feel like we should go. He's a scary man. That literally looks like a water advert, doesn't it?
Evian.
Yeah, Evian, Livion. So if this sort of looks familiar, that's because this dam here is actually, well, I say here, down here. Whoa, right at the bottom there, if you can see, is exactly where the Top Gear trio camped in a Ferrari California, a Lamborghini Gallardo and a Aston Martin DBS when they came to Romania to do the Transfer Garrison Highway. There's a hotel 2 minutes up there. Don't know why I didn't just stay there, to be honest.
But now it's back on the road, and we've got to get through Romania and into Bulgaria, from Bulgaria then into Turkey. It's a big drive, and it's definitely a lot longer than what it looks here.
We're at Bulgarian border number 1 from Romania to Bulgaria. If it all goes well, we won't hear anything. If it doesn't, I'll have to do some sneaky filming. We'll see in a second. It's all going well so far. The police seem to like the car. I don't want to make it too obvious I'm filming, so I might get shouted at. But it seems okay. I don't know what all the fuss was about. Everyone there was lovely on the Romanian side and also on the Bulgarian side. Hopefully it's the same at the crossing to Turkey, but what they did say is the roads down here for the next 50 kilometers or so are going to be horrendous. So if they're saying it's bad, that means it's going to be bad. So let's just hope that we don't break the car when we're so close to the finish line.
And if they're saying this is bad, I don't think they've been to the UK, because although it was a bit potholy, I'd say we've got it worse. So now is the complete drive across Bulgaria to get over the Turkish border and out of the continent of Europe.
Right, we've pretty much made it through Bulgaria now, but we are approaching the Bulgarian-Turkish border, which apparently is the worst one, and is where they can get bad and a bit funny with you. So let's see how it goes. Fingers crossed it's plain sailing, but it may not be.
Now the reason I'm worried about this is because one of my friends did the same journey when he moved to Turkey, and he said Bulgaria is where you need to be careful, trying to park or stay anywhere other than the main cities, and the border police might try and intimidate you into paying them or bribing them, but if you do, then they'll do you for bribing them. Nice. But we had a different problem entirely.
So we're currently having a couple of problems getting the car in because the insurance documents, even though we've got emails confirming from the insurance company that we're covered in Turkey, they're not accepting that. So I don't really know what we're trying to do. The good thing is the time here is a lot earlier in the UK, so the insurance company's still open. Fingers crossed they can get a new certificate over to us proving that it's insured in Turkey and they actually let us in. Well, we can celebrate because we've finally made the last country of our trip, but my God, was it long-winded. We've been sat there for what, 3 hours, is it?
Yeah,
it's something like that, and also lost an hour because of the time difference when you cross the border as well. It wasn't fun. We managed to pay £55 in cash to someone to get an insurance document. I don't know how legit it is. I just want to go to bed now. We're going to be up at 6:30 tomorrow morning to go to Smile Hair Clinic. So, but honestly, that was possibly one of the most inefficient things I've ever seen in my life. Over and out. We are so close now. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't think we'd make it this far. I did not think we'd make it, and now it's all getting a bit real because tomorrow morning I've got to get up to have a hair transplant. Oh no. I can't believe how well this car's done. It's been such an epic drive getting it this far. We're thousands of miles from home now. We're in another continent. It's crazy. We have only got 27 miles of our massive journey left, but it's going to take us an hour.
And that's because Istanbul is the most congested city in the world, and you've got to have your wits about you because everyone here drives super aggressively. And I was just trying to get through it without getting my pride and joy damaged.
Stressful is an understatement. I would happily never drive in Istanbul ever again. Morning, we're in Istanbul. It's the big day. No hat because don't need it. I'm gonna be getting some fresh air. I can't believe I'm doing this. This is ridiculous. Morning. Morning. How are you? It's a snazzy, isn't it? Right, it's bright and early. Now we're on the way over to the clinic to get some hair.
And I'd be lying if I said I wasn't nervous. But after 10 days of driving, we had finally made it to Smile Hair Clinic, where I felt slightly comforted that my doctor was a Mercedes fan too.
How you doing, man? You good? I love your car.
You like toast?
Love toast.
Okay, let's go upstairs.
Okay.
And after years of bolding and thousands of miles of driving, we were finally here, inside Smile Hair Clinic, and today is the day where I'm going to be getting a new hairline.
Nice this.
But first we had to decide where exactly this hairline was going to go. I wanted to keep it as natural as possible so it didn't look out of place and fake. And also decide how many grafts we were going to do. That's how many hairs we're going to take from the back of my head and reposition to the top. In the end, we settled on about 4,500. Then before we started, there was only one thing left to do. Chop it all off.
Here we go. It's time. There's only one person that's right to do this.
I just want to shave the front bit.
No, no, don't start there.
Why not?
Do not start there.
Where do you want me to start?
I don't know, start on the sides. Start on the sides.
Literally shaving you fully bald.
Yep. How's it looking?
Can we shave the top bit now?
I don't know where it's best to start, to be honest. Why have I got such a weird shaped head? I think there's going to be a lot of people who've been waiting for me to do this for a long time.
If I just leave just the front bit.
Yeah, maybe, that'd be great. Thank you. That'd be really appreciated.
We can continue from here. Because there was this little glitch over there.
She's going to do me a fresh skin fade now.
Yeah. If you would rate your shape look on a 1 to 10, scale 1 to 10.
I'd give it a 2. I feel like it was the right decision getting a hair transplant.
I don't know, maybe a 3.
You're not feeling it then? No. No.
Not here.
Well, you're going to have to put up with it for a bit.
It's the lines for me.
Is it the lines doing it? What about if this is just me constantly?
I don't know, actually, it's not actually bad.
Is it not?
No, the more I think about it.
I just feel like it's not me.
It's kind of hard to tell though when you've got them lines on
This
it.
is true, yeah, this is true.
Alright?
Right, I'm ready.
Are you ready?
I'm as ready as I'm ever going to be. I don't think you're going to be able to watch this though.
No.
I don't think anyone on YouTube is going to be able to watch it either, so I'll check out from here and check back in with you in a few hours maybe.
Now you guys know how YouTube works, you know I'm not going to be able to show you the exact operation and how it's done in full detail, but what I can tell you is it wasn't as bad or as painful as what I first thought it would be. It was actually pretty chill.
It is 2 days after my operation and this is how I'm looking. We obviously had a load of grafts, it was 4,600 of them, which is quite a few, but that means I'm gonna have plenty of hair on my head, but it's not gonna be an instant thing. It doesn't mean that in 2 weeks time I'm gonna have a full head of hair. It might take 12 or maybe 18 months to see all the full growth of these hairs on my head. So it'll be a slow thing, but over time they'll start to grow in. And I know you guys are gonna have some questions like, did it hurt? Honestly, it was easier to do this than have a tattoo for an hour. It was not bad at all. The worst part of it for me was lying on my front for an hour while they're taking the hairs out the back of my head. Apart from that, I was just chilling watching TV. So is it painful? Honestly, not really. Also, the guys at Smile really couldn't have been better. They were super kind, they were super accommodating, really friendly, and obviously done a great job. I'm looking forward to seeing the results from this in the future as well. I genuinely would recommend them. They're really, really kind people trying to do the best job they possibly can. So yeah, 100% recommend. So if you want to go and get a hair transplant with them, they're going to give you guys some money off as well. Use code ChrisSlicks100 when you contact them. You can do it using the WhatsApp link in the description. They're going to give you €100 off your procedure as well. So if you want to get some of your confidence back, get some hair, go and contact them down below with that link. My car underneath this fancy frock is just a base model AMG GT and it makes about 500 brake horsepower. An AMG GT Black Series on the other hand makes about 730, so we've got a lot of ponies to make up. Now I'm too stupid to think ahead, so I drove this car in this morning, meaning it's boiling hot. So I'm going to take the heat shields off the top first, let that cool down, then we're going to go underneath. Because obviously, to make up that much of a power difference, we're going to need to change some substantial parts. So it's not going to be such a straightforward job. One heat shield. I'm going to put it here. I'm just stressed by that. Look how long this engine bay is.
I know, right?
There's only one way to get in there, isn't there?
Just got a
Just got to get in there.
Superman.
Might take this off. Hi there, engine.
Scalpel.
Thank you. Obviously, to make up all this extra power, we're going to need some more air because these standard turbos are going to be no good to make an extra 200 brake and a bit more. These are C63 turbos essentially on this, so they're a fairly common turbo, but they're mounted in a strange way. They're inside the V, which is like a new, nice modern way of mounting turbos called a hot V, which means that they are here rather than being right down under here, which in theory makes changing them a little bit easier, but changing a set of turbos is never as easy as what you think, so we'll see how we get on. Shall we crack these lumbar sensors off? and then we're going to go underneath, I reckon, while it cools down some more.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You like
Nice. Yeah, that was good.
Oh, nice.
Let's get underneath. I really don't want to stand on this bumper.
Go on, jump it.
Oh, Spider-Man. I think if we cut there,
Yeah.
that allows you to take the bottom section out, and then the top section looks like it will be able to go up then. If not, we can jiggle it around and cut it some more.
You're not going to get your chopper out again, are you?
Maybe. Let's equip ourselves
With PPE.
with PPE. Always found when cutting metal with these, spraying it at the same time, keeping it cool, keeps the blade sharper. Whee!
Good catch.
Very easy cat removal.
Round 2.
Yes, let's go again. Can we move this?
I think if we...
It's scaring me.
I'm cable tying this out of the way.
Right, we ready? There we go. Nice, that's one of them tools that I never thought I needed, but when I got it, it's had some use.
Well, that was relatively
Okay.
painless.
Yes. I don't know about the next bit.
No,
I think that's everything under here.
so do I.
Shall we get it down?
We shall.
Okay. Lovely. So now we need to try and unplug the secondary lambers because that's going to be a lot harder to get anything in there to crack them off, and then we're going to try and take them off when they're out of the car.
I think though, if you was to bring them up, we'd be able to, once we do the bracket, bring them up and then try and undo them.
Sure thing. Does this make me look really short like this? This is a proper core workout, this.
Yeah.
There we go, right, so that's moved the bracket which we didn't need to move.
I feel that had been in the way anyway.
Probably, yeah. Right, that's that one loose.
I do actually feel like a useful assistant at this point.
I feel like a surgeon. Has that done what we wanted it to do? Let's see. Sort of.
Oh, we've got a bit of movement.
Yeah.
Oh,
That hurt.
did that bite?
It did a little bit, yeah. 2 of these would be coolant, and 2 of them would be oil. Don't know which 2 are 2.
I feel the new ones are going to be a lot easier to fit without them big fat cats in the way.
Do you know what happened last time someone said that?
It was really hard.
The prop broke.
Yes. Get out and walk.
I don't think I've ever heard that
No, I
saying
haven't,
before.
but I quite like it. There we go. We've got a big bracket to contend with. Oh, you fighter. 1 bracket. That was a pig. Right. Sweet. I've got the shakes. Downpipes are out. Now we're going to try and take these intake pipes off.
So now the downpipes and the intake pipes are removed from the turbos. There's only one thing left to do, which is removing all of the coolant and oil lines, which is going to be a fiddly job.
Excellent effort.
Oh, nice. Boom. I guarantee that's got a lot more jiggle now.
Oh yeah.
And once we'd finally got all those removed, we could take the turbo away from the engine.
One Turbski. That is the left-hand one. I'm going to put that here for now. Now for number 2. That's a bit of a bracket there. Is she out? Oh. And breathe. 1 casualty, bit of split pipe.
It's only a tiny piece though.
Yeah, it is. So the question is, do we repair or do we replace?
I think you'll be able to get that. It's look, cut that much of the pipe off to slip it back on.
Put a Jubilee.
Put a Jubilee.
Shorten it, Jubilee it. So obviously we've took these turbos off. It's still quite a lot of work even though they're in a hot V, and that's because we're upgrading them. You guys know, if you are not new to the channel, you've been around for a while, my X3M has been running hybrid turbos for a year now from Litco. Ah, Litco. And they've been solid. So Dan at Litco has very kindly done us some hybrid turbos for the Merc. We've not gone like full fat. We wanted to keep some kind of mid-range power as well to make it nice and drivable, but these are going to deliver a lot more power and help us get nearer the target of that Black Series number. So now I'm going to start looking at how we're going to get these back on. So which one's this? This is, so that's the one we're going to put on first. So we need to take off this little metal sheet, swap some bits over, and then get it back on. There we go. Ooh, crusty. What is quite important to do, it's quite common for seals like this to leak if you don't replace them. So we've been to Mercedes and bought all of this. So we have service kit, all of the sump plugs and washers we're going to need, more washers, some O-rings, some exhaust gaskets. All of these things are going to make sure we don't lose any fluids and we don't have any exhaust flows. So we're going to swap all of those over as we're changing everything over to the other turbos, and hopefully we'll have no leaks. One turbo ready to install. New exhaust gaskets, 1 and 2. There you go with the cone bit facing up, so that's 1 in there. New oil return seals. Now let's do the rest of these O-rings. I'm not going to bore you with it, but we're going to get these changed over now. Then we can start fitting the new turbos back up, and I hope this is not as bad as taking them off. We want to make our lives as easy as possible, make sure we don't do damage to the O-rings when we put them back in. We're going to spray them with some of this, some of the Fuchs silicone spray, which should help them slip on easier. No point messing around. Let's get these new turbos on. Where is it? Is it this one here?
Yeah.
Beautiful. It's just turbos lying around everywhere at the moment. Where's Mickey? Thank you.
Now all the new seals are on, it's time for the turbos to go back on the car, and we're doing this as delicately as possible to ensure we don't damage anything.
It's going down. There he is. It's on. Right, one
Round
down.
1 over.
I'd say that is a win to the Slicks team. We need to. We've beaten the AMG so no, I've just jinxed it.
Now we do have some merch available for the Blue Series build, so if you want some, make sure to head over to chrisslicks.co.uk. And even better, I'm going to give you some money off. If you use code AMG, I'm going to give you 10% off any range of items on the store. So make sure to go and click the link in the description to check out what we've got.
So to go with the new turbos, obviously we're going to need a better exhaust and a more free-flowing exhaust. That is why it only seemed right to finish this Chinese car, German car with a Chinese body kit off, with some more parts from China. So I picked these up from AliExpress. It just seems fitting, doesn't it? We've got to put Chinese downpipes on with a Chinese body kit. It kind of links all together then. They're going to allow a lot more noise for a start, going to let that V8 breathe and sound better, and also help us free up some more power. So these will help.
We've closed over, so that actually goes.
But straight away, something didn't seem right. This downpipe did not want to go in. It had a long tail compared to the other side, and it just didn't seem to fit.
I hate downpipes sometimes.
I feel the new ones are going to be a lot easier to fit without them big fat cats in the way.
The question I'm questioning is whether these are actually AMG GT downpipes and not C63. I reckon there's just a knack to it.
Do you think?
Maybe.
But there wasn't. This passenger side downpipe just simply does not fit in this engine bay without taking out the gearbox, so that's just not going to work.
Right, we've come to the conclusion. Something's not right. Either these are downpipes for a left-hand drive car, or they've just been made stupid. Normally with the AMG GT downpipes, the reason they come in 2 bits, so we've got this section here and another section which then goes to the rest of the exhaust, because we had to cut the standard one to get it out. The new one goes in 2 pieces because they've put a massive tail on this. It physically won't go in from the bottom, from the top, nothing. So, what do we do?
Chop it.
Nice, right. This is what happens, I guess, when you buy things from China. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. Luckily, we got bitten on this and not on the body kit stuff, because this is a lot easier. Straight in.
Straight in.
Literally.
Okay, so.
Okay, that definitely fills me with some confidence. Let's put this V-band on here quickly, just because this is roughly in the right spot now. We want to see underneath, make sure everything's going to line up. Again, just to make sure we're not wasting our time. That's solid, isn't it?
Position.
That's where it wants to be. Right, let's go on. Yeah, so this side's got like a V-band fitting, and that side's got that.
Right,
so
slidey,
different, yeah.
Slidey V-band.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just, yeah.
I think we're right there.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, sweet.
Little V-band there's not the end of the world.
Now, all we need is a V-band. Luckily, we have some scrap exhaust bits around here, so we need a 3-inch V-band to make that work. So we've got the old McLaren exhaust, which will not be going back on the car, any part of it, and luckily, it has a 3-inch V-band which we can nick off, so we can cut this here, cut that there, take that to get welded up and sorted out, and then hopefully we've got an exhaust that will work and be easy to install. So for the sake of efficiency, Mickey is going to stay here and just fit up that other turbo, get all the lines on and everything. We're going to run off and get this new V-band welded into this exhaust, so then we can fit everything up and it should be all hunky-dory. Teamwork.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Sure thing. Cool, right, so I need that, this, and I need a McLaren exhaust. Let's hit the road. Here he is, the man of the hour. He doesn't look very happy to see us.
So we did a short trip over to Bob at the machine shop, and he is going to try and fix up this exhaust. So we've got a detachable section which will make it actually possible to install.
Exhaust is sorted out, hopefully that should work, and also we've got a little bit of adjustment because of the way the V-band is, so that should work sweet. And also if it's too long, we can just lock it off there because this is a straight piece. So yeah, fingers crossed that works. Thanks so much to Bob at the machine shop for sorting us out, not only on short notice but doing such high quality welds too. If you want to learn how to weld like that, make sure to hit up the machine shop, do welding lessons and a bunch of other stuff as well, so make sure to go check them out. The tag's going to be in between these bits of exhaust, just there, on Instagram. Let's get back to the unit, get this fitted. Well done Mickey, I'm getting that on. Now, time for the exhaust.
Do you think to bolt down the turbos first? They line up absolutely flawless.
Turbos are bolted in, everything's looking good. Now it's time to get these, or try and get these downpipes in. Of course it doesn't drop in as easily now. Oh, you're joking. Do you want to go underneath?
Now, annoyingly, with that extra little section welded on, this downpipe still wouldn't fit. How irritating. So we had to try and find another way to get it in.
We'll try it again the way from here going down.
Yeah.
Don't look down.
I'm not.
I never thought it to be this bad, you know.
No. I'll be honest, when we got back I thought it was just going to slip in beautifully.
Yeah,
brilliant.
How he clipped to when it just dropped in before. Straight in. The only other thing I think we can do, take the engine mounts out.
Oh, it'll drop the engine down.
Just a bit, yeah. Luckily these are pretty fresh because I had to replace them on my road trip from when they cracked. Still in good health, which is good. I'm going to bring you down slowly, Mickey. Okay, so yeah, you're down the top of the gearbox. We just need to get it down here now. Okay, hit. Keep going. And we're in. Yay! Thank God for that. You do the lambda sensors. I'm going to try and get this engine mount back in. Just got to get this top bolt on the engine mount now, which I'm tightening up.
Well, I've got all the bolts finger tight in with the brackets.
That's good. I've got to do 3 on the bottom, and then we can actually probably nearly hear this car start. Not a million miles off anyway. Well, I can't do this side have been that easy.
Felt like I was going up in the world of the company, but
You were doing well.
now I'm down.
You were sky high.
I know, right?
You were raising the roof.
I've made it look cool up here, though.
Okay, is it looking good? I haven't seen it yet.
Dude, I think you'll be happy.
Good.
He's like, you'll be mildly amazed.
I'll be mildly satisfied with my day's work. They do look pretty sick. Yeah. Okay, yeah, it's worth it.
It's a shame to put a cover on them.
It is, but we've got to try and protect that carbon fibre fiberglass bonnet. That's been a long day, isn't it? But hopefully a very rewarding one.
Yep.
It's the aim.
So now we've got both the turbos and both the new downpipes in too. We've just got to button everything up and then hopefully go for that first start.
Final bit, isn't it? Sort of.
Sort of.
So all we need to do now is connect up these, which do feel very sturdy, up to the old exhaust. So we've got 2 bits for this side. We've got our new bit that we've fabricated and the extra bit, and then just 1 piece for that side. Hopefully, oh no, I think I've seen something. I'll just go and grab that other bit of pipe and see what you think. Do you reckon you'll get it? Ah, she's fine.
What are you worrying about?
I don't worry.
Look, mate, that fits pretty damn good, you know.
Yeah, that's actually sound. Nice. It's been a hard day. Should be a relatively easy job, I think. It would have been a lot easier if the downpipes were good, but they're on. Everything's in. We think we've got everything plugged in. Everything's plumbed. There's only one thing left to do. When you fit a set of turbos, obviously you need to prime them to make sure there's oil pumping around them to make sure you're not running them dry. So we've unplugged all the coil packs. Need to crank it over a few times first, then we can plug them in, then we can hear how this sounds. Hopefully it's good, so let's do that quick. That should have oil pressure now. Should be plenty. Let's get these plugged back in. Is that everything?
That is the one.
Make sure that's fully on.
Do you know what I'll say? Fire and hole.
I reckon it's time, boys. Are we buzzing? I'm pretty excited.
buzzing.
I can't wait. Okay, that's valves closed.
Valves closed?
Yeah. That sounds so angry. Yeah, that's open. 2,000 RPM. When the valves are closed, it's like, it's loud, but everything seems loud in here because we're inside. But it's noisy, but it's not crazy. But then you open it up. That sounds so good. Yeah, I'm so buzzing. Right, let's let her warm up and then we're gonna give it some big licks. I think she's ready.
I don't even know what to expect.
Are you ready?
How high are you going?
I don't know, we'll see. That was 5.5. That sounds so good.
It sounds so angry.
I want to do this sport in the middle. That's it, comfort and sport are the same. So in Sport Plus it does like the bangs, and then in Comfort and Sport it don't do it. So I can pick how I want it and how I drive it. So I can either be like Asbo or chill guy.
Sophistication.
Yes, sophistication.
I think you need to rename the car the Kraken.
The Kraken!
My ears are gone.
And the exhaust ain't fully hot yet either. Oh, I can hear the turbos then.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, sick. Next stop, we need to get this tuned. So we need to make the most out of those turbos and new exhaust, get as much power out of this as we can without blowing it up, preferably. So, we have somewhere to go.
Is that before or after a service?
Oh yeah. But first, I need to do a quick service. Didn't quite go to plan. We have a coolant leak. Mickey, which turbo's that?
Whereabouts is the coolant leak?
It's on this one, I think.
On the top?
I don't know.
That's coolant.
I can't see where it's coming from. It sounds so funny. You reckon it's this side one, yeah?
Yeah, it is. Right.
I can see the problem, I think. That is a ripped O-ring. It nearly went so well. We've got, just there, can you see on the end of the pick? Just poking out of it, a bit of rubber, which means we've snagged the O-ring. It's okay, that's not a problem. At least that one's accessible.
Very.
So what we're going to do, leave it until the morning, pull it out, deal with the situation, give it a service, and then we're going to get it tuned. Hey, okay, that's fine. Next day, been to Mercedes and picked up, well actually I picked up 3 beautiful O-rings which hopefully should fix our coolant leak. So that's the first job. We can't make power if it's losing all its fluids because that'd just be silly. So let's take off the pipe. Because I don't really want to take apart loads of stuff just to have to do this.
I was going to say, didn't Mickey do this turbo as well?
I don't want to point fingers. I would never point a finger. But maybe. Well, I think it's easy to see why it was leaking.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to change both, just in case.
Oh, is that one that's double?
Yeah, it's a double. There. Here's one. Give it a roll around. Make sure it's not snagged. And number 2. No bits hanging out the side. Fire up, I guess. There we go. Right, get up to temperature a bit, get some water pressure, and check the leaks again. Right, coolant's come up to temperature, and I can confirm there is no leak. And the other good news is I can't see any leaks from anywhere else. Next job, very quick oil service. Everything else seems good. Get these heat shields back on, and then power time. Yeah? Yeah. Drain number 1. Ooh. Well, good job I got a replacement plug. How right I was. Please help me, Ross. Please help me. Please help me.
Look, it's all done, it's all shiny, and then...
So effortless. Honestly. Incredible. In order to get the most out of these turbos and the new exhaust section that we've fitted, we need to get the car tuned, which is why we brought the AMG GT Blue Series to the home of fast Mercedes in the UK, MSL Performance. So our goal here with the guys from MSL is to turn this into the fastest AMG GT Blue Series from Temu, which isn't that hard a challenge, but our other goal is to try and beat the power of a Black Series. So we need to get above, I think it's 720 or 730 brake, which is really going to transform this car and give it nearly 250 more horsepower than stock. So if we can achieve it, it's going to drive different. First step to find out how much power we can make with this is see where we're starting. We're expecting this to run slightly over standard power because we've fitted those new turbos and the downpipes, but the tune doesn't match. So we're only hoping for a slight increase, which hopefully should show everything's healthy. But let's find out. Here we go! That's wheel horsepower, so that's different to the crank horsepower, which is the quoted figure. So that's showing 449 on the best run on the stock tune. So I think they said he times it by 1.18 to get the crank, so that works out to 529 at the crank. So that's 529 brake horsepower. So that's good. That's what we want to see. Now they've just got to tune it and work their magic, which might take a little while, and then we can see how much power it's going to make. I feel like it's going to be silly. The first revision of tune is on. It's time to see how much power she can make. Let's keep our fingers crossed and pray for over that Black Series number. Angry, doesn't it? The way it goes through the gears is completely different. It just eats it, isn't it? It's like whoa, whoa. Tuning is done, and the car has done what it needed to do, I'd say. Yes. This is Acid.
How you doing, guys? You alright?
And he is owner of MSL, is that right?
Correct.
Owner. Okay, no worries. And he's going to run us through everything here, and he's going to run us through the differences which we've made, and then ultimately whether we've beaten the Black Series power number. That is our goal.
100%.
So tell us what we've got.
Right, so as you guys know, all the work this young man's been doing to the car, so it's come to us. So what I've done is started from scratch. So I've done a full software update. I did a TCU, ECU, anything that needs to be updated from Mercedes-Benz, we started from scratch. The car standard, it did a 450 wheel horsepower, which is equivalent to around 530.
I think I did the maths on it earlier. I'll check it. 431.
531.
531. Sorry,
531.
Yeah. Good math.
So obviously the car's only 450 odd brake standard. Now the reason why it's made so much extra power stock is because the decat's already been done, and it's got hybrid turbos. So with our TCU and ECU map, we are now running 641 to the wheels. So yes, we have beaten the Black Series.
Let's just do the maths. Hold on, hold on. 756. So not only have we beaten it,
yes,
I'd say we've monstered it.
100%, and you know the funniest thing is, we're not even pushing the car. It's only running about 1.6 bar,
okay.
So there's more in it. This car can easily do 850, but we kept everything safe.
There is some weak points on these cars, which I'd like to point out, that being drive shafts and gearbox. Now, those of you that have watched the second channel video when we were bringing this car back from Turkey will know I have encountered a gearbox issue with this car where it does ping into neutral.
Well, we've done a software update with the latest gearbox software, so maybe...
Fingers crossed, I've got away lucky. But if I haven't, I don't think there's any harm done by this, because it's not done it on the dyno. And if there is still the problem, I'll have to pull the gearbox off and get it sent off to be rebuilt. But by that point, maybe I should get it strengthened, and then we just go for more.
Let's put some rods in, let's do 1,000 brake. Let's get it done.
I'll see how much I like it as it is. I'm sure it's going to be plenty fast enough. But I think the key thing here is keeping it drivable as well, because we want it to be fast, but we also want to have a usable car.
100%.
So that is why I think it's important. So this is our horsepower here and torque here, is that right?
Correct, yes.
And if you see, up to 3,000 RPM, it is identical.
It's like stock, but you have to remember the turbos have a little bit more lag than stock. But it's up to absolutely fine. But as soon as you're after 3,000 RPM, it's like, oh, hell will break loose.
Yeah, the difference between the
it's
stock
massive.
and the tuned lines is just...
It's just night and day.
Yeah, so much so that we've even brought the rev limiter down.
Yes,
So,
just to keep it safe.
yeah, so normally it revs to just under 7,000 RPM and we've brought it to just over 6.5, is that right?
Exactly, but we can increase that. But like I said, we're just keeping everything all within safe levels. I'm not looking to push anything or break any records just yet.
I think it's got plenty enough.
Oh, 100%.
Wicked. Good. So thanks to the guys at MSL for sorting this out, getting it all done, really appreciate it. I'm glad we've achieved the number that we wanted to make, but most importantly, it's all about the drive. Let's see how it does. Alright, here we go. I'm going to drop it down to, what gear should we go for? I've managed to avoid planting it for about 20 minutes while it warms up, while I get to grips with it, but let's do it. Okay, yeah. Do you know what that is? What? Scary. That is so sick. Do you know what now? The noise matches the way the car looks. Before it was so quiet, and like it was still a fast car, but I love this thing I do. This is like a dream come true.
And it really has been. From the moment this car got delivered on a forklift onto Ethan's trailer and we got the body kit for it, I fell in love with it from top to bottom. And I said when I got this car originally that it's one of my dream projects, and it really is. Being able to do this with this car is something I never thought I'd be able to do. It's not only took the channel to new places, but it took me there too. We drove it all the way across Europe to Turkey, where I got to experience some of the world's best driving roads. And it's took me to countless different countries, which I never thought I'd visit. And the cherry on the cake being making it to Turkey and getting rid of my terrible hairline by getting a hair transplant. And I'm sure to some people it seems so strange to get attached to what is essentially a box of nuts and bolts. But this Mercedes AMG GT is now my dream version of what it could have been, and holds so many memories with it too.
So this project really has become a dream come true, and I couldn't be more grateful for it, for you guys for watching and supporting this and how it's transformed the channel and the things that we're doing here. But if you have enjoyed it and you're not subscribed by this point and you want to see more stuff like this, make sure to go down there, hit that subscribe button, like this video, and I will catch you next time.